Please do your part to show respect for every spectator, athlete, coach, and official involved in today's contest. We ask that everyone please refrain from using profanity as you support your team. And now, please welcome Anissa Thomas as she will lead us in prayer.
Let us remember we are in the holy presence of God. Provident God, be with Our Lady of the Lake University and Wiley College as we strive for triumph in volleyball. Help us stay safe from injury, both physical and emotional. May our performance reflect the true spirit of sportsmanship. Whether we win or lose, let it all be a part of life's lessons. Help us to grow in excellence in body, mind, and spirit as we represent OLU and Wiley. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Anissa. I speak for all of us here when I say get well soon. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the roster of the Wildcats. Number 2, freshman Mary Elder. Number 3, sophomore Leah Scott. Number 5, junior Dolores Harrington. Number 6, freshman Marissa Neal. Number 7, sophomore Charlotte Arnold. Number 8, a senior Talisha Collier. Number 11, junior Diana Johnson. Number 14, a senior Alexia Sosa. Number 16, a freshman Kaylee Williams. Number 17, a senior Renata Carlos Casilla. Number 18, a freshman Kayla Quartz. Number 22, a freshman Kaylee Williams. And number 24, a junior Tanoy Martin. The head coach is Mike McNeil and the assistant coach is Holly McNeil. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the lineup for your OLU Saints. Number 1 for Brennan High School, junior outside hitter Kalani Kitchen. Number 3
Test, test, test. And welcome everybody. Maybe Gymnasium, beautiful campus of Our Lady of Lake University. Natalie Fazio coming down with the point there, the senior from Plano. Finished the match yesterday with 12 kills in the victory. They had 4 sets over Jarvis Christian coming here against Wiley College. Wiley dropping a match in Austin yesterday against Houston Tillotson. Coming back down. And sent back over by Marquez. And that's going to get past Fazio. And that'll tie it up at 1 apiece. Saints coming into the match 11-2, 4-0 in Red River Athletic Conference play. It's a serve coming up over the net. Beffer, and that's down and brought up nicely there from the libero Scott. And that's off as Maldonado and Marquez collide. 2-1, Wiley will take the lead here. As a serve picked up by Ketchens. Across Rivetta. Now it's going to be blocked down, blown up at the net by Tiana Johnson. That's a serve coming here from Marissa Neal. Into the net, service error. 3-2, Wiley with the lead here in set number 1. So Amanda Esparza right back the other way. Serve is there, and 4-2 now the score in favor of Wiley. So Tiana Johnson sends the serve, and 3 consecutive service errors now, and it's 4-3 the score in favor of Wiley. So Kalani Ketchens, 18 kills, 4 straight service errors here by both teams here. And it's 5-3 Wiley. So the Saints picking up where they left off yesterday. The season high 17 service errors last night in their victory against Jarvis Christian. Beffer to Ramirez. Now set up, sent over there by Martin. Kept alive, Beffer back to Ramirez. To Rivetta, I'm sorry. Anissa Rivetta, the senior. 10 kills last night. Gets that down, and it's a 5-4 lead now for Wiley. So Anissa Rivetta to serve. Rivetta over. Set up there by Sousa. Rivetta sets around Maldonado. Maldonado into the net. Unforced error point for Wiley. And now 6-4 the score. So Tononi Martin with the serve just over the net. Rivetta sets across Fazio. Fazio popped back up there. Carlos. And that's going to be sent out wide. Point Wiley, 7-4 for the Wildcats. Back goes from Martin. Rivetta sets up over the top. Ballesteros gets to the fall. At 7-5. Saints trailing by 2 now. Set number 1. Saints playing without the conference's leading setter, Anissa Thomas, who's still injured. Tihana Kruta, the team's leading blocker, is out, and the team leader in kills, Bailey Hubbard, also out with injuries still. So 8-5 there after the point there is Maldonado coming out. And coming in, or actually Maldonado coming in. Coming to serve now for Wiley is going to be Haley Williams. It's Williams with the serve over. Rivetta keeps it alive, and Fazio will send it over. Sousa sets up, sent back, dug up by Maldonado, kept alive Esparza, and just over the top there, Fazio. There, Sousa again sets back, sent over, not able to keep that one there off the shot from Marissa Neal. So 9-5 now, the lead for Wiley here in this first set. Up over the top, Rivera sets back around over to Ballesteros, who tried to sneak that over. Sousa back again the other way for Neal, blocked at the net by by Ballesteros and Esparza. Rivera sets up again, and there a little confusion as Marquez comes back to put it over. Neal over back towards the back line, picked up Maldonado. Rivera cross over to Fazio. Now Sousa across, Neal out past the line, and the long point goes to the Saints. Saints back to within 3 now, trailing 9-6. So Kalani Ketchens, the junior, coming back in, and she'll be at the net with Esparza and Fazio. Serve there from Marquez. Sousa cross over to Neal, and a whistle and point. As a violation before the point went down there on the Saints. And so a 4-point lead again here for Wiley. Alexa Sousa with the serve over. Fazio keeping it alive. Rivera sets up. Ketchens blocked up and blown up at the net by Neal and Johnson. And a 5-point lead for Wiley. So 11-6 now. Sousa over the top, kept alive by Maldonado. Now it's going to be sent long, unforced error. And a 6-point lead, largest lead, and a timeout coming for Wiley. 12-6 the score. We'll take a timeout. You're watching Saints Volleyball on the Olu Saints Network and KSAT.com. And welcome back. Saints trailing by 6, 12-6 here to Wiley. Set number 1. As the timeout there from Coach Scott Matera. Talk things over with his team. As Sousa still serving for Wiley. Up over the top. Rivera back, Fazio. Blocked down at the net again as Wiley controlling the net right now as that Johnson and Collier on the block that time. So 7-point advantage now for Wiley here in set number 1. Over the top, Rivera sets around over to Ketchens. That's blocked up but kept alive there. Sousa back around, and Collier puts it over. Or Collier. Esparza sends it over, sets up, Sousa over to Johnson. Johnson had to reach for that one. Marquez up, Fazio off the fingertips, point for the Saints. No! Unbelievable! You saw the ball go up in the air and then down. It touched the hand, it went up in the air and came down. And now they're going to talk because you saw the change of trajectory from the ball going off the finger. It went up and then came down, and somehow Because everybody up here, I think Lena was ready to put the point down for the Saints. And now they give it to the Saints, making the correct call. As they saw the change of trajectory, as the other officials got together, a good job to make the correct call there. So 13-7, Saints still trailing by 6, but every point matters. And now, the Wiley head coach wants to go and ask about it, I guess, but you could clearly see the change of trajectory from the ball after it was touched. And the other two officials both came. And so it's going to change, it's going to stay the correct call. And so the head coach for Wiley is still talking about it there with this play. Everybody else in the gym saw the change of trajectory, and the coach for Wiley still talking to the head official. There, Sousa sets up, back, deal into the net, unforced error, point Saints. So 13-8. Now the score. Over the top, Fazio. Sousa sets over, Johnson sends it. Rivetta kind of missed it, but Esparza keeps it. Nice dig up there, and now back around over for the Saints. Rivetta sets up, Ketchens, droops it over the top. Sousa back around Neal. Neal kept alive, Fazio. Rivetta sets up, Ketchens. Ketchens sends it back, but they're waiting for it. Was Martin, and that's going to go long, point for the Saints. So 3 in a row for the Saints. Now draw them back to within 4 here. Wiley sends it back, Fazio. Rivetta sneaks it over, kept up there, Martin, back around. Again, there, Marquez. Sets up Fazio from the back line, mishits, but it finds its way, bounces over. Caught the curtain, but again, stays back for Wiley. Wiley sends it back, again at the net. Neal sends it up. Sousa, back to Neal again, blocked at the net. Over the top, and that's going to kept alive by Marquez. Back, oh no! 4 hits, they said. So 4 touches. And so it's going to be 14-9. So Neal, as I guess they're saying it wasn't a block over on that side. Rivera that time blocked out. Point for the Saints. So 14-10. And the blocking error. Over the top there from Esparza. Set up, Johnson over and in the point. Oh, I'm sorry, Collier. Talisa Collier puts that one down. And now, Tiviana Johnson for the serve over for Wiley College. Beffer, sent over by Maldonado. Back around Collier. Beffer back, Rivetta. Rivetta over the top. Not able to keep it alive and sending it underneath the net. There was Johnson, and point for the Saints, trailing by 4, 15-11. So Kalani Ketchens for the serve up over the net. Sousa sets around, sent back by Martin and blocked at the net by Ballesteros. Beffer up, step over the top. Again, that's down and put down. Carlos De Silva puts that one down. So 4-point lead for Wiley, or 5-point lead, 15-11 here. As Merritt Elder to serve. Elder over. Beffer, it's over by Esteros, push it back towards the line. Neal keeps it alive. Around over to Martin. Martin dug up there. Kept alive again, but not going to be able to keep it over there as Maldonado just off the mark there, and point for Wiley. 6 is the lead, 17-11 here in set number 1. Elder. Buffer back to Rivetta. Rivetta puts it down. So Anissa Rivetta with her 4th kill now. So Anissa Rivetta to serve now. As Fazio back in the match for the Saints. And now Wiley again talking to the official. So now ready to go and up and over there by Rivetta. As Martin puts it back, sent back by Maldonado. Sousa, back blocked at the net by Fazio. Martin, sent back again. Set up the top, Maldonado back. Sousa keeps it alive. Put up there by Scott. Rivetta sets up again as Ballesteros. Sadie Ballesteros puts it down. So 17-13. Saints back to within 4 now. Sousa sneaks it over the top. And the kill for Sousa as it's now 18-13, back to a 5-point lead. Wiley's led by as many as 6 here in this first set. The serve received there by Maldonado. Ballesteros pushed it back. Scott keeps it alive. Sousa over to Neal. And that's going to find the back line point for Wiley. And they matching their largest lead of the match now at 6 points. 19-13 set number 1. Martin to serve. Received by Maldonado. Rivetta pushes over to Fazio. Dinks it over, but kept alive now. Back and at the net, but kept alive. As Neal shot. Rivetta. Fazio finds it inside. Natalie Fazio finds the mark. And that's going to be the 3rd kill for the senior from Plano. So Journey Dimas to serve. And just over the top, Sousa keeps it alive and across over to Neal. Rivetta back. Fazio over the top. Scott, Sousa, and a good job Wiley keeping it going there. Is Carlos De Silva there. As Fazio gets it down again. Kill number 4 for Fazio. Saints have cut it down to 4. And again, another stop here we'll clean the respiration off the floor. So 19-15. Saints right now in first place, all load. Half-game lead on Wiley, who lost last night to Houston Tillotson. And that'll go long, service error. That'll be the 3rd service error. And it's 20-15 now. Wiley up with a 5-point advantage. Haley Williams. Wiley selected to win the conference in the preseason coaches ranking. And that's a service error. And 3 now for Wiley on the service area mark. As earlier in the set, we had 4 consecutive service errors. 2 from the Saints, 2 from Wiley. Marquez there, Scott. Sousa pushes across over to Neal, off the fingertips of Fazio, and they're trying to save it, unable to. And 5 points is the advantage. Saints have found themselves to get down to 4-3 a couple of times, and Wiley always able to push it back up. and keep around that 5 mark. That's Sousa with the serve. And that's going to be on the line, service ace. That's Sousa, her first ace of the match. And the first ace for anybody. And a timeout going to be called by Coach Matera. Saints trail by 6, 22-16 here in set number 1. You're watching Saints Volleyball on the Olu Saints Network and KSAT.com. So Alexia Sosa to serve. Senior here for Wiley. It's been in some very big matches between the Saints and Wiley. And that's it, Log. It's her and Anissa Rivetta for the Saints. Some of these big battles between Wiley and Olu. Sousa over. 7-point lead for Wiley. Fazio. And back at the net. Goes over and into Marquez. And an 8-point advantage now for Wiley College with set point. Rivetta sets up Catchins. And that's going to go wide. And point for Wiley, and they'll take set number 1, 25-16. We will take a break as you're watching Saints Volleyball on the Olu Saints Network and KSAT.com. as Neal sets up here. 2-0 lead for Wiley here, set number 2 after taking the first one. Ravenna there at the net. Unforced error of the point for Wiley, and quickly a 3-0 lead for the Wiley Wildcats over the Saints right here. Neal had a big first set. With it up and over, received by Marquez Esparza as Befford just getting it over the net for the Saints. Sousa sets up over for Collier. Collier is going to be violation coming into the net, or coming back player coming up to the past the 10-foot line. So 4-0 Wiley there, coming out earlier in this set. Ketchens, Sousa sets back and up over the top is Johnson's shot. All the way across Ravenna. Ravenna going to be wide on that one, and 5-0 Wiley here. Not the start to the second set that Coach Matera was looking for the Saints, or the rest of the Saints there. As Neal Beffer sets up Ketchens. Sousa, push back over, and off the fingertips of the libero Marquez, and another point for Wiley, and that's going to be a timeout. 6-0 Wiley leads. You're watching Saints Soccer on the Olu Saints Network and KSAT.com. As the serve there, not able to get it back. As Beffer 7-0 now, Wiley with the lead here, starting off the second set. As Neal still serving. Received there from Marquez. Beffer to Ketchens. Ketchens blocked back again at the net as Wiley. They are having a block party this afternoon. But finally a point on the unforced error. So the serve here from Ketchens. So Marquez there. 8-1 the score. Over the top. Over the top, Martin gets it. Dug up nicely by Esparza. Marquez sends it over. Sousa sets up. Missed there. And into the net. As coming in to take the big swing was Carlos da Silva. But she missed on it, and Martin got caught under the net. So 8-2 the score. So back we go. trying to figure out some issues here. So 9-2, we finally is a score here for Wiley. And the serve was Elder, put it over. Now back Martin as Marquez can't keep it alive. And it's 10-2 now. Largest lead of the match. I'm sorry, not the largest lead. It's one under the largest lead. Again, another block of the net for Wiley. Marquez, or Maldonado that is. Sousa, across over to Martin. Marquez. Esparza. Fazio just sending it over the top there. Carlos De Silva to Sousa. Back over to De Silva. As Ballesteros puts it down. At 10-3 the score. Wiley with the lead here. As Journey Dimas to serve. And into the net, service error. It's 11-3. And this is the end of the first half of the season here. For the Saints, as they will start the second round of conference play next week after this one. Rivera by Esteros into Scott's arm. Scott not able to do anything with it. Point for the Saints is now 11-4. So now Marquez to serve. And snuck over. Did she go in? And so point for the Saints as Sousa went under the net. Or into the net there. And so 12-4 now, the 8-point advantage. Sousa sets up for Carlos De Silva on the line, calling it. And now the official up top will overrule and we'll call it out and point for the Saints. So 11-6 now. And that's a service error. So 12-6 the score. So 6-point lead. And Williams to serve. Rivera, Ketchens, and that's off the fingertips. No, not off the fingertips. Looked like she was off the fingertips. So point for Wiley. And now Marquez, Rivera, Fazio, blocked again at the net. As Neal and Johnson combine on that one. 8-point lead, timeout. Saints trailing 14-6. Second set, down 1-0. You're watching Saints Volleyball, the Olu Saints Network, and KSAT.com. Sosa. Set back there is Marquez. Rivera. Back over to Fazio. And put back over. Fazio. Nicely kept alive. (14-8). Sorry, we're getting hectic with all kinds of events going on today. So 15-8 to the lead now for Wiley. Beffers checked back in. Sousa now to serve. Sousa sits around as Neal puts it, and violation on the Saints, and point for Wiley as they have doubled up the Saints here, 16-8. And service error there coming from Sousa. So 16-9. As Barza. The serve's over. Sousa. Sent over by Collier. And Martin not able to keep that alive. And point for the Saints, now trail by 6. At 16-10 here in set number 2. Sousa around, blocked at the net by Ketchen. Sousa sends it over. Beffer, there over to Rivera. And touched at the net by Wiley. Point for the Saints and Anissa Rivera. Beffer, Ketchens into the net on forced error. And 17. So 17-11 the score. And back of the net, point for the Saints. So Ketchens a serve here. Saints trailing by 5 now. They've scored 4 of the last 5. They get 5 of the last 6. Sousa's return comes back into her face. And caught her in the nose there. As she's good to go now. 17-13. Saints trailed by 8 a moment ago. Have cut it in half down to 4. Not able to get to it. Sousa made the run from one side of the court to the other, and Grant kind of stood there. And so the Saints now within 3, 17-14. Ketchen serving. It's kept alive there. And Collier sits it over. Beffer sets up by Esteros off of Scott into the stands. Point Saints. Saints now back to within 2. as they have scored now 7 of the last 8 of the last 9 points, back to within 1. Trailing 17-16 here. Set number 2, timeout Wiley. Saints have charged back from trailing 16-8 to trail now 17-16. We'll take a break. You're watching Saints Volleyball on the Olu Saints Network and KSAT.com. And welcome back. Skalani Ketchens to serve. Saints trailing by 1, 17-16. As they've scored 8 of the last 10. Set away. It's going to be a blocking error out. Point Wiley. The lead is to 18-16. So the timeout good for Wiley. As Johnson now to serve for Wiley. Rivera puts it over. Sousa catches the antenna, or just past the other side of the antenna. And so Rivera will get that, and it's 18-17. Saints trail by 1. Sousa, and that's Carlos De Silva as Esparza stuck her hand out and caught a piece of it. And point for Wiley. Back up by 2, 19-17. As Elder to serve. Over the top is Sousa. Martin there into the net. Point Saints. 19-18. Journey Dimas to serve. Sousa sets back. De Silva puts it in. Wiley puts the lead to 2. 20-18 now. It's Ashley Maldonado. Checks in. Martin to serve for Wiley. Serve over. Rivera. Ballesteros blocked again. Maldonado. Fazio over the top. Back of the net, Ballesteros. Sousa. Back over Collier. Push back Ballesteros. Sousa. Back around to Silva. It's going to be. And a point. Official making the call with her back turned. And so a 3-point lead for Wiley, 21-18. Martin over. Maldonado. Rivera. Fazio puts it over. Kept alive there by Elder. Pushed over the top at the net. As Collier able to put that one there. Point. Oh, I'm sorry, Neal puts that one there. So a 4-point lead. Wiley starting to pull away again here in the second set. Martin over the top, and unable to make the return. And it's 23-18, 5-point lead. Saints got back to within 1 after trailing by 8. We're down 7-0 in the second set. Came back, got to within 1 at 19-18, but now 4 to row for Wiley. Ballesteros off the defenders, kept alive. Sousa across, now over to Neal. Blocked to the net by Fazio and Ballesteros. Neal again, blocked by Ballesteros. Sousa, Neal, over the top, Marquez. Rivera sets back Fazio. Fazio off the fingertips there over to Elder. Back around, snuck over, kept alive. Nice dig from Rivetta. Fazio sends it back. Scott keeps it alive. No! And so Coach Scott Matera, because they say it went over the line of the antenna. So set point now for Wiley. And a card out for Coach Matera. Marquez, Rivetta, over the top by Estedos. Kept alive, Elder. Sousa sets back, Carlos Da Silva off the fingertips. And kept alive, back and long and out wide. That'll do it. Wiley takes set number 2, 25-18. Lead 2 sets to nothing. Take a break. Set number 3 here in a moment. You're watching Saints Volleyball on the Olu Saints Network and KSAT.com.
And spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Hand touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to the Bill Green Hill Arena on the beautiful campus of St. Mary's University in San Antonio, Texas, for today's Lone Star Conference matchup between the West Texas A&M Lady Buffs and your St. Mary's Rattlers. The NCAA Lone Star Conference at St. Mary's University encourages and promotes good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. And now, fans, it's time to meet the starters for this afternoon's match. First, here's the starting lineup for the West Texas A&M Lady Buffs.
You can just go name and number.
Sophomore, 6 foot, number 9, Sadie Snay. 5'9" senior, number 10, Selena Batiste. 5'2" junior, number 12, Chandler Vogel. Senior, 5'11", number 17, Lindsay Smith. Junior, 5'5", number 21, Cameron Artelli. 6'3" freshman, number 24, Carolina Johnson. 5'11" freshman, number 31, Tori Miller. Assistant coaches, Casey Schengler and Will Boyd. Head coach for West Texas A&M, Kendra Potts. Rattler fans, off your seats and on your feet. Time to meet the starting lineup for your St. Mary's Lady Rattlers. 5'11" senior, number 3, KK Payne. 5'10" junior, number 5, Captain Jim. 6'1" junior, number 7, Amara Martinez. 5'9" freshman, number 10, Kia Luther. 5'10" sophomore, number 12, Julia Diaz. 5'8" senior, number 15, Bree Perry. 5'3" junior, 23, Hector Cruz. Assistant coach is Justin Snyder. Head coach for St. Mary's Lady Rattlers, Stephanie Armstrong. Starting lineups today presented by IBC Bank. As a Catholic university and a Marianist tradition, we begin our activities by asking for God's blessing. In the name... Guess not. Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin today's first set, we ask that you all please rise and remove your hats as we direct your attention to the far corner of the court for the presentation of our national anthem.
And a very good afternoon. Welcome out to Bill Greehey Arena in San Antonio as the St. Mary's Rattlers return to the court. They take on the West Texas A&M Lady Buffs. Hi, everybody. Andrew Stossmeister. Good to be back with you once again here from St. Mary's University. Rattlers trying to make it 2 straight. They take on the Lady Buffs, trying to tackle a task they have not had a lot of success with in recent memory. In fact, most of these kids were very, very young the last time the Rattlers beat the Buffaloes, but it's a new day and it's a great opportunity. That's exactly how Coach Stephanie Armstrong's group feels after coming off a victory last night over Eastern New Mexico in straight sets. The Lady Buffs had to go 5 up the street a little ways in Austin, took St. Ed's all the way to the wire before pulling through in 5 sets, winning the final set 16-14. There's a change to the Lady Buffs this season. New head coach Kendra Potts takes over. A lot of freshmen, 5 of them on the roster this year. 2 of them have been very impressive. Katrina Johnson and Tori Miller. Selena Baptiste, the returner as well. Right there is some of the top hitters in this conference. We're ready to go here for this Lone Star meeting between the Rattlers in the white jerseys and the Buffs in the black. Underway we go as West Texas A&M looks for the quick swing in the back row. Dug up by KK Payne, comes over the left side. Slusser blocked at the net. And a point to the Lady Buffs. They'll start first out in front, 1-0. Stay, Batiste, Vogel, Smith, Artel, Johnson, and Miller for the Buffaloes. And then for St. Mary's, KK Payne, Jasmine Sims, Amara Martinez, Shay Slusser, Julia Diaz, Bree Perry, and Kat Cruz is out there today in the blue jersey. As that serve goes wide, we are tied here at 1 apiece. Rattlers 7-4 on the season. The Buffaloes of West Texas A&M 8-2. They are 2-1 in Lone Star action. Lost to Angelo State last weekend to open up league play. The Rattlers are 1-2. Picked up their first league win last night against Eastern New Mexico. Underway for the serve. Rattlers trying to get into some form and get things going. Here in this first set, had some question about the rotation, and looks like all is well and good. As ball is up from Bradfoot. Quick set off to that right side, swinging and finding some spaces. The freshman Tori Miller, her first kill of the night. She's a talented one already this season, and you can see why she is so good. Yesterday, along with her teammate Selena Baptiste, combined for 46 kills in the win. And, you look at this freshman, top of the league in hitting, as just a freshman. She's very talented, but again, as her head coach Kendra Potts calls her, very raw in many ways. Slusser on the other end, dug up by the Buffaloes. Borchel's got it up front at the net, blocked by Sims. Jasmine Sims had a big match yesterday. As this ball is ping-ponged around. Good job by Catherine Cruz to get it over. 2-1 Buffaloes here early over the net. But a point is ruled in favor, I believe, of the Buffaloes. Now, that was initially what the head coach, Kendra Potts, was asking about. If somebody was over, having the hands extended, it is not. So it's a point to St. Mary's. 2 even here through the first 4 points of this match. To serve, Shay Slusser, the freshman out of Denton, Texas. Good serve in the back row. Handle back over there. Off to the right side, and look out below for Tori Miller. Got a lot into that one and smoked it. Over 160 kills coming into this match. And those are the 2 players that, again, you look at it for Stephanie Armstrong's Rattlers, they have got to be aware of. Number 31, number 10 in the black jerseys. Tori Miller the serve, too deep. 2 service errors here in the first 6 points for the Buffaloes of West Texas A&M. Again, 8 wins and 2 losses on the year. Their other losses to 4th ranked at the time, the Washburn Lady Ichabods. Tied at 3 as Catherine Cruz will serve right to our left. Deep serve in the back row middle. Passed up front. Backup center working here today. As that is pushed over, the senior KK Payne has the point. And the Rattlers have their first lead of the night. 4-3 here in set number 1. Best of 5 in this Lone Star Conference meeting with these 2 schools. First time they have played each other as Lone Star members in league play. These 2 teams met at the first match of the season, as that shot is deep off of the right hand of Samantha Jordan. The freshman missed it wide, and the Rattlers have a 2-point lead. These 2 teams met back at the beginning of September, went 5 sets, but West Texas A&M, who rarely loses at home, came up with a 5-set victory. And talking with Coach Potts as well as Coach Armstrong, both of them said, hey, first match of the season, everybody played pretty well at times, and other things still needed to be worked on, but the Buffaloes emerged away with a victory where they don't seem to lose much at home. I mean, you look over in the last 30 years. They just don't. It doesn't happen. 5-4 Rattlers. Tight set to the front of the net. Perry's in trouble, but the player that's into the net is St. Mary's. I think they're going to get Bree Perry, who had just clipped enough of it. And Coach Armstrong is saying, wait a second. That's not how she saw it. Right now, the front of the net, they'll ask and get the explanation they would like. As it sits through 10 points, it's all tied up. And, well, they will replay the point after Bree Perry asked for, hey, can we check that? And they'll redo it. That's probably a break for the Buffaloes. Got to get the score back up. It's 5-4 St. Mary's as it would sit here in set number 1. Talk about these two teams. They get a chance to face off against one another for the now 21st time in program history. Buffaloes have won 18 of the 20 matchups. Perry sets it up. KK Payne to the right side. Misses the cross-court angle deep. And now it is 6-4 in favor of the Lady Buffaloes. Actually had that 5-4 mixed up. They look to have it correct on the big board. Set number 1 here from Bill Greehey Arena in San Antonio. Tight set by Perry, swung on, dug up off of Diaz. Buffaloes come back and dump it over again. Off the screen to the right, Diaz trying to find a little bit of a space in the middle as that one is put away, and a good job on the left side. There is the first kill of the afternoon for Selena Baptiste, the junior out of Portland, Oregon. Looking with Coach Potts, formerly Kendra Morgan, if you remember that name for the Lady Buffs, the All-American, 3-time All-American, wasn't actually at that time, back in the early 2000s, was the Lone Star Player of the Year. You know, she was very talented at that time. Still having some trouble on the scoreboard as Diaz is blocked, kept alive by the Rattlers. They'll go for a back row try, and Slusser misses. And as the scoreboard would read, it's 7-5 in favor of West Texas A&M, the Lady Buffs, trying to find a road victory. This has been kind of their Achilles heel over the years. You know, they have been such a great team, 3 national championships in program history. Road wins lately are few and far between, a lot less of them. Ball kept alive over to St. Mary's. They go to Diaz. The shot is up. It's good. Right through the middle of the defense, and that's where the Rattlers feel they have a chance to have some success here today. Rattlers yesterday, they defeated Eastern New Mexico, hitting the mid-200s. You know, no player got to double figures officially. You know, they had some trouble getting that all worked out, but you know, one of the things that was very evident from that match is that there was such a great balance, and I think that's key today for Coach Armstrong and St. Mary's, is finding a way. Can Julia Diaz, KK Payne, Alyssa Tolbert continue to stay well and balanced after Jasmine Sims had a real strong match yesterday as well. Lady Buffs by 1, 7-6 opening set here from San Antonio. Off the left side, shot is up and is dug by Cruz, who did not play yesterday. Set high to KK Payne, solo block in the middle. Popped back up at the net. It's a point won by West Texas A&M. Sadie Snay, the sophomore out of Kingman, Arizona, the point and side out. Lady Buffaloes the advantage, 8-6 here in the opening set. These two teams, as we mentioned, they have played 20 times previously. Few of those have been here. A lot of tournament action as that shot is over and good from the 6'1 junior Amara Martinez. Great job by Amara, not just to hit the ball, but to stay out of the net. Was falling forward into it, but able to just stay out of the top of it. Rattlers the side out. They're down 1, 8-7. Couple of ties and a lead change here as well as shot is dug up. West Texas A&M on the approach. The shot is made by St. Mary's. They come back to Slusser, the freshman. And at the net, the try gets over. I think it was deflected. It keeps going anyway by Diaz, and now a double hit will be called, or 4 hits, as the ball did not get over that second time. It is 9-7. Lady Buffaloes in front. The Rattlers, 2 wins in this series. One of them happened here, but again, before most of these kids' time, before they were, really out playing volleyball. 2004, the last time St. Mary's won in this rivalry series, as it's become a little bit to some, is can you beat that top team? Shot is down and good. Nice play off of the right side, Tori Miller. Miller not wasting a lot of time with her third kill of the match. And 17 points recorded, 10-7 our score. Lady Buffs in front. They had to go 5 last night. You wonder how that plays in. You have to travel a little over an hour in drive time as the ball tipped over. How do they respond? Rattlers were out of here in an hour and a half last night as that ball slips over. Cruz's got it up to Bree Perry, left side. Sluicer, the freshman, is dug up, and look out. That ball is coming over. And a point in favor of St. Mary's here at the 18th point. They're down 2. Rattlers have won a couple times. 10-8 our score as Julia Diaz back to serve is ready. Both teams not much separation right now. Buffs had 3 of 5 at one point, and I think that's a double hit called on West Texas A&M. Another point to the Rattlers. They come within 1, trailing 10-9. But you talk about the Lady Buffs last night, had to win in 5 sets. They lost set 1 and set 4. And, the middle sets, according to Coach Potts, they played really well. They hit the ball extremely well, and that's one of their great talents. This is one of the best attacking teams in the league. Picked 4th in the preseason as that's a long run for everybody. Buffaloes chase it down. Good job by Artelli to get it over. Bree Perry, left side. Sluicer in rotation. The kill is down the line and good. Her second of the match. And the Rattlers have 3 in a row. They have tied the match at 10 apiece. It's a good job by St. Mary's after falling behind by a couple. Julia Diaz for the 4th straight time on serve down the line. In rotation, couple of screens in the middle. Miller did not get a good shot up. Kept alive over to the left side. Rattlers try the tough angle. It's at the net. It slips over, but they have a lift called on West Texas A&M is what our head official Eric Saunders says, joined by Harvey Madrigal, who is down on the floor today. Tom Tanaka and Stephen Jennings are the linesmen here today. A bit of an argument right now from the Buffs on the floor. Did not agree with the lift call, but the Rattlers have their first lead in 15 points. They are up 11-10, 4 straight for St. Mary's. Serve is up. Diaz tight to the front of the net. Free ball to the Rattlers. They go to the left side. Shea Sluicer off a deflection. Kept alive. Lady Buffs with it. They're in the black jerseys coming down the line. And the shot is good, but into the net goes Selena Baptiste. That's a point for St. Mary's. Rattlers keep it coming. 5 in a row. And you can see head coach Kendra Potts thinking timeout. First-year head coach. Trying to keep her team up and positive. She's a competitive one. I mean, she was a talented player for the Lady Buffs when she played, and that's how you get a kill away. Baptiste off of 2 screens to her right and the point. And finally the side out, but that's a good run for the St. Mary's Rattlers as they take 5 in a row. 2 ties, 2 lead changes here on the opening set from San Antonio. Glad to have you with us on the Lone Star Conference Network. And St. Mary's. Bree Perry, the set behind to the right side, swinging, and the ball ping-pongs back over again. Martinez has had some quality swings for the Rattlers here so far. Off the edge left, down the line, it's out. Point to St. Mary's. That's a good swing by the Lady Buffs, and they are not afraid to use that side. They've got multiple people. Sadie Snee, who missed that one, had an opportunity to come in. Now a substitution is Sydney Eagleton. The freshman out of Richmond, Texas, will play. We talk about Kendra Potts and her reach. 8 different states she has been able to recruit to. There are also 8 players from the state of Texas. Pretty fantastic if you watch that. Here's Bree Perry to the right side. Jasmine Sims right through the middle is good. Rattlers up 14-11. They've got back-to-back points again. And you combine that together, 7 of 8 for St. Mary's. Continuing to blossom. Here in set number 1, we mentioned these 2 teams met at the beginning of the year. Lady Buffs won it in 5 sets. That was in Canyon, though, at the box, where it's hard to win anyway on the road. That shot is good. Try to sneak it off that left side for some success for West Texas A&M. And that's what they can do. They have that ability to find what they want over there. And they've got enough people to make that work. Snee, that last kill. Sims lining up her shot. Good down the right side. Squeezes it through the solo block. Again, it becomes, who can do what? Who can adjust as this match goes on? Rattlers have a 15-12 lead. It was 10-7 in favor of the Lady Buffaloes. 17 points into the set. Sluicer the serve. handle the back row, trying to come back to Tori Miller. Bad angle, she's out of bounds. And the Rattlers push up to their largest lead of the match, 4 points, 16-12. We've arrived at a timeout. We'll take it as well. Rattlers leading at 16-12 in set number 1. This is St. Mary's Volleyball, hearing from San Antonio on the Lone Star Conference Network and stmarysrattlers.com. Back in set number 1 here from San Antonio. Rattlers leading at 16-12. On behalf of our crew today, glad to have you with us in San Antonio, the Buddy and Anna Meyer Court. As the Buffaloes out of the timeout, trying to stall out St. Mary's. That is blocked by Sims. She got a piece of it, but a shot put down and right through very nicely that time. Lindsey Smith, the senior out of Fort Worth, Texas. The side out. Rattlers on a pretty good run right now. They've taken 9 of the last 12 points as it has blossomed into it, trying to take the first set off of the Buffaloes. See if they're a little bit tired from last night. Very short serve. Payne comes to get it. Behind over to Sims through the double block. Popped up by Hurleman. Buffs in the black jerseys as that is blocked into the net. Comes back to West Texas A&M off a screen, and that shot is good. But somebody into the net for St. Mary's on that call. Buffaloes get back-to-back points as Tori Miller will serve. Exciting first set. Both teams playing well. Rattlers, though, with 9 of 12 points as the serve is short. Payne to Perry, back to the senior. KK Payne is good. And that shot gives the Rattlers a 3-point advantage. Hey, fans, the St. Mary's Rattlers would like to thank Raising Cane's, the official chicken finger of Rattler Athletics. Treat yourself after the game by heading to their restaurant located at 7020 Bandera Road in the Leon Valley. 17-14 our score off of the right side. Blocked to the front of the net, but into the net that time for West Texas A&M. Initially it appeared, but 2 players collided into the net, including Payne. Another point to West Texas A&M. Trying to get that scoreboard up and going. 17-15 our score here in the first. Payne trying to find Diaz. That was a play last night, had a lot of success. That shot is good through the middle, and the Buffaloes starting to make a little bit of a run coming back. They're 8-2 on the season. Strong road win last night, but we mentioned it. They've only won 40% of their games on the road. You look at that, double that plus at home. Almost 85% in that span is KK Payne with an energetic point, trying to keep her team fired up. St. Mary's by 2, 18-16 here in the first. Rattlers, as we mentioned, haven't won this match since 2004. St. Mary's with 8 kills now, officially hitting at the 129 mark. The Lady Buffs try to sneak one over on 2. Rattlers will cover. Slusser from the back row with it. Up and over. Here's a jump set in the middle off the double block, and the shot is good. Nice swing that time, Lindsey Smith. She can do that as well, and to me, Lindsey Smith is one of those forgotten players for this offense for the Lady Buffs. As a senior, you'd say, okay, wait a minute, why is she forgotten? Because players like Katrina Johnson, Tori Miller, freshman also, and Sydney Eagleton, those are really eating up a lot of what's going on with this team. Such a talented player. As that's picked up in the back row. Good job by Shea for St. Mary's, as that angle is too wide from Amara Martinez. And you can tell right now that The Rattlers, again, they're really trying to run screens off of their setter. Both teams are running the 5-1 as they get the floor mopped up. And just like that, all tied up at 18 here in this first frame. Again, you wonder again as fatigue sets in, if the Buffs, if they can win this first set, how big that would be for them. Rattlers really trying to hope they can use their home court advantage as that shot is good by the 6'1 junior, Amaro Martinez. Martinez with a good job right there. The Houston Pride had some nice plays yesterday in the second and third set. Didn't play a lot, and you can see a little bit from the Rattlers in their first 11 matches. Stephanie Armstrong has not been afraid to use different people. Held some people back yesterday in anticipation of this match as that shot is dug up by Payne initially, but she can't pop it up. Good swing over there off of the outside edge. And the Lady Buffs will find another. Got so much talent on the outside. Katrina Johnson to kill. Tied at 19. Who gets separation? Both teams have led by a few. Up at the front of the net. Shot floats over. Catherine Cruz is back in. Slusser blocked to the net by Tori Miller, the 5'11 freshman. And the Buffaloes. First team to 20. And a timeout is taken by Stephanie Armstrong. We'll stay here this time, but pretty good energy here in this first set. And, I thought that's really a lot what we talked about with the Rattlers and Stephanie Armstrong pre-match coming into this one, was that her team felt like they were amped up to play a good quality program like the Buffaloes of West Texas A&M. They were preseason number 4, and I the only reason to me that was so surprising was because they have a coaching change. But this is, historically a program that's been fantastic. I mean, regularly in the NCAA tournament. They missed out on it last year. Maybe that was a reason why they went away from their previous head coach who won 276 times, Jason Skoke, who's such a good coach. He's now at St. Leo University down in Florida. But, talking with Coach Potts, who knew him, he said, hey, you understand what kind of coach he is, and he won a lot. Again, you win 276 times over, 10-plus seasons. That's really, really good. And this Lady Buff team has been a very, very good volleyball program, but they're ready to go in a new direction and see how that goes with, how about former standout in Kendra Morgan now Kendra Potts, who has been a nice coach down in the Corpus Christi area the last 10 seasons. Really did very well at the club level while she was installed as the new head coach in December of last year. Back out after the timeout. Lady Buffs by 1. Cruz up front to Perry. Into the middle. Swinging. Diaz, a pretty good swing. Great dig on the other side. Lady Buffs put it over. Perry, left side. Slusser this time, and that shot is good. Over the freshman. Continuing to be impressed by Shea Slusser, who grabs her third kill of the match. That is the 10th overall for St. Mary's here in this first set, hitting at 128. Lady Buffs at 200 right now. I mean, you do that, you got to hit well against this team. Out of Canyon, Texas, that shot is good. Kill from Selena Baptiste. You wonder if she'd be tired. Her and Tori Miller, again yesterday, 48 kills between the two of them. They were very good. Make it 46 kills, I beg your pardon. But, those two have been very, very good. 160 plus on one end. That is a tough pass. Great job up front by Amara Martinez, who kind of had to come in, put the brakes on, and just flip it over and surprised West Texas A&M side out to the Rattlers. As Haley Bradfoot checks back in the back row right now, along with KK Payne and Catherine Cruz, Slusser, Sims, and Diaz up front of the white jerseys for the Rattlers. Tied at 21. 6 ties here in this first set. Up front on the pass, back behind, tipped over that time by Miller. St. Mary's the answer. They just dump it in 3. Another middle attack. That shot is good. Katrina Johnson, a talented freshman at 6'3". She's got some height in there. And, again, so good with her footwork to allow herself not to just kind of run over there and tip the volleyball. Make sure you don't carry it. That's what you have to be careful of. 22-21 here in this first set. Tight to the net. Perry is blocked. Free ball at the front of the net is won. And Lindsey Smith, the senior out of Fort Worth, has her 6th kill to lead her team here in this first set and has it to 23-21. Taking a look around the Lone Star Conference today, as we had mentioned, with everything going on yesterday, now you have everybody flip around and play once again. That's the way that league play is working once again here this season. And, with everybody kind of broken up into their pods, it's a tough turnaround if you're on the road. For West Texas A&M, a little bit shorter with what they had to do with everything that was going on yesterday. But elsewhere around the conference right now as it stands, Texas A&M International and Angelo State, they're in the middle of their match right now. We'll also try to get a look at some of the other ones that are going on as well. But, it's a busy time. Saturday, football, a lot of that going on. But Commerce has already defeated Texas Women's College here today in 4 sets. They won 3-1. Tarleton, a sweep over International. St. Ed's, they've already finished their match against Eastern New Mexico. They get a straight set sweep after falling last night. As we mentioned, 23-21 here in our match. DBU is up 1-0 on Kingsville. Those are the league matches that are going on. Fort Smith will play a little bit later on here today. As well, Angelo State, Western New Mexico, they're in the second set. Angelo's up 1-0. Hearing a lot of good things about Angelo State this season. Receiving votes, Tarleton currently is in the top 25. Back underway out of the St. Mary's timeout. They have no more left. Jasmine Sims' shot is not good, and it comes over the net. Rattlers never saw it coming. Good dig on the other end. Sydney Eagleton, the freshman, defensive specialist out of Richmond, Texas, has her team to set point number 1, 24-21. On to serve the libero, Chandler Vogel. Serve at KK Payne. Bree Perry, left side. Tolbert in for the first time. Listen, Tolbert didn't play till set number 2 yesterday, and it's a side out back to the Rattlers. They need at least 2 more to keep things rolling here in this first set. 24-22. Lady Buffs in front. Tolbert with honors will serve it. Sophomore out of right here in San Antonio, out of Marshall High School. Good serve in the back row. Coming to Tori Miller. Dumped over. Tolbert covers. Rattlers with a try. Bree Perry back left corner. Nice defense by Eagleton. As the shot is up, and it is good. Right through the middle. Lindsey Smith and the Buffaloes take set number 1, 25-22. They hit 240 in the process. They are the top hitting team in the league for a reason. They show it here in the first set. 25-21. Again, or 25-22, excuse me, the final in set number 1. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll review some of those first set stats for you and get you ready for the second set next. Again, 1-0, West Texas A&M leading. This is St. Mary's Volleyball on the Lone Star Conference Network.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a rich history of athletic success, the Lone Star Conference has long been known as a leader in intercollegiate athletics. Now with 19 institutions that embody the best in college sports, the Lone Star Conference is the largest and most dynamic conference in NCAA Division II. 19 members strong, 19 members proud. This is the new Lone Star Conference.
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet. A culture that is quickly becoming the flavor of the neighborhood. Real fresh, real flavor. That's Pizza Patron.
The arena, 1-0. West Texas A&M takes set number 1. Andrew Stossmeister back, 25-22. The final in that first. It included 9 ties and 4 lead changes. Hey fans, St. Mary's Rattlers would like to remind you can stop by one of the 5 conveniently located Jason's Deli restaurants for a fresh, affordable meal anytime. Don't forget about their free ice cream. Jason's Deli is happy to fulfill any and all catering needs with as little as same-day notice. Jason's Deli, the official sandwich of St. Mary's Athletics. Well, it was a set that watched the Rattlers go on and take 9 of 12 points. They look to be in the driver's seat, but at the end, what a strong run by West Texas A&M. And there is a reason, fans. They are so good. They come out, it's right there, 20 even, but they take 5 of the last 8, as they're 5 of the last 7, actually, as they win the set. And, it comes down to crunch time, who handles pressure. Both these teams feel like they can handle it pretty well. But West Texas A&M, they get the early advantage. They hit 268 officially in that first set. 17 kills, only 6 attacking errors. St. Mary's 111. 11 kills to 6 errors in set number 1. Teams will change ends. Buffs in the black jerseys. St. Mary's in the whites, except for Catherine Cruz, who is wearing a white jersey, or a navy, let's make it a royal blue jersey. On the other side, you can see the libero and Chandler Vogel. She is wearing a white jersey as a set starts off with a service error. There were a few of those in the first set as well. And, you start looking at things like that. That can be an issue. That's the 4th of the match already by West Texas A&M. KK Payne out to serve. Set is tight to the front of the net, right side, and that shot is good. Off of the right hand of Selena Batiste. That is 5 for her. Batiste and Tori Miller, the key players, they have 8 now between the two of them, but Lindsey Smith in the middle has had a strong match. And from what I've seen, again, you look at the Lady Buffs, a lot of attacks in the middle. They've been able to hit a much shorter in stature St. Mary's defensive block up front. Here's the set to the left side. That is good. Isabel Hurlman in for her first kill of the night. And there's another freshman out of Tillamook, Oregon, getting an opportunity to play. And, that's it's so impressive. I mean, you see so often some schools, you recruit only your state, maybe some next-door neighbors. That's not the case with the Lady Buffs. It hasn't been the case as much in recent memories, but their program so well known. People want to go there and play. That's a double hit on the backside for the Rattlers, and it's quickly 3-1 in favor of the Lady Buffs of West Texas A&M. 8-2 on the year out of Canyon, Texas. They had a long road trip last night. Had to get in and bus over to Austin. Took on St. Ed's. They won in 5 sets. Rattlers, meanwhile, they won in straight sets over Eastern New Mexico. Did it rather quickly at a short night. They should be the fresher team. We'll see if that helps them going forward as that shot is deep. Rattlers asking for a tip. They won't get it. And you look over there on the bench is head coach Stephanie Armstrong walking over, and looks like she's going to ask for a review on that tip. And you can see on the other side by, Coach Kendra Potts, a little bit surprised that this is reviewed, but they'll get that worked on as we stay right here. That's one of those plays that, it looked like it was close, but I think the officials are right on this one. Those guys are working hard today, and they always are. The one thing that is really an interesting add-on for college volleyball this year is that everybody's got replay, and they can go back through and look at that. Lady Buffs won the first set 25-22. They're out 4-1 right now as it would sit. We'll see if that continues to hold up at this point. But as we mentioned, already a number of finals are done. And, that comes from people just depending on your time zone. They get some of those already done and ready to go. I mean, that's kind of surprising to me that, you get that to the point where you're like, okay, hey, where are we going? What's going on with everybody playing? But can you imagine you're playing a volleyball match last night that got done close to 9:30 for the Lady Buffs? You got to get on a bus, come all the way down here. You're hoping to get into your hotel room by 12 o'clock. And yet then you're up and going, have an early morning hit around practice. You get out here. I know the Lady Buffs were here an hour before the match, 2 hours before the match when they got fired up. And it seemed to work out, at least in their favor, in that first set. See if that carries over. As we mentioned, Tarleton has already won today in straight sets. Lubbock Christian has been busy as well. And after the review of the point, they give it to St. Mary's. There was a tip on that replay. Great job by our crew giving a look-see down to the official, Harvey Madrigal, who's over there, and made his call. And so the score becomes 3-2 in favor of West Texas A&M. Back underway from Sims. The set behind to the right, tipped over. Good job by KK Payne to pick it up. Off the left side, the freshman blocked. It rolls and trickles down the net. That'll be a point for the Lady Buffs. And I think it's important to point out, West Texas A&M, they're without their primary setter today. Gabby Emery, who's been dealing with plantar fasciitis, is not available. And Sadie Snee has done a good job, the 6-foot sophomore. Don't see too many of those very tall sophomores going. Is trying to get a rotation check real quick for Coach Potts in the process. Wanting to make sure everybody is in the the right spot. But you talk about having a younger player really getting some varsity action here. How does she respond? She's done a great job. Did a great job last night. Doing pretty well so far here today. Serve it, KK Payne. Perry a long run. Set up to Slusser down the line and kept alive by the Lady Buffaloes. They come for the swing, and the shot is good. Isabel Hurlman. Hurlman, the freshman, with her second kill of the second set, and it's 5-2 after that review point. Glad to have you with us tonight in San Antonio. Actually, afternoon contest. Two players for St. Mary's collide, and you can see it on the face of Coach Armstrong. Fast-paced walking. Can tell her team's a little bit off. And an early jump for West Texas A&M, 6-2. We'll step aside for a quick timeout. This is St. Mary's Volleyball on the Lone Star Conference Network.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a rich history of athletic success, the Lone Star Conference has long been known as a leader in intercollegiate athletics. Now with 19 institutions that embody the best in college sports, the Lone Star Conference is the largest and most dynamic conference in NCAA Division II. 19 members strong, 19 members proud. This is the new Lone Star Conference.
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet. A culture that is quickly becoming the flavor of the neighborhood. Real fresh, real flavor. That's Pizza Patron.
6-2 here in set number 2. West Texas A&M with a 1-0 lead over the home Rattlers. Trying to take them down on their home floor. The Buffaloes have had a lot of success in this series, but out of the timeout, St. Mary's needed a point. They get it. Great job to set that thing up and move it over the net. They've been working hard on that left side, and you get a player like Amara Martinez, who's had some good swings today. I mean, that makes life that much easier, that's for certain. Get the side out in the process as Haley Bradfoot is back into this one as Tori Miller has to really bow her neck and misses that one wide and out of bounds. We talked about the top team in the league in kill percentage coming in, the Lady Buffs. They hit the ball very, very well, right at a 280 clip. They were just slightly below that in set number 1. Done a good job with a different setter here today as that shot is blocked at the front of the net by Sims. Got a piece of that one. Miller floats it too far and out of play. And the Rattlers pull back within 1, 6-5, 11 points into the second set. Already the second meeting with these two teams. This one, however, is the League One. They played earlier this year. It was not a league match at the West Texas A&M tournament that the Rattlers have played in a few times. Good hustle that time, chased down by Bree Perry. Lady Buffs in the middle of the court again. And again, they like what they see there. They are coming hard. Taylor Crest that time. Or excuse me, Lindsey Smith, beg your pardon. With a kill. 7-5, set number 2. 1-0 on the big board. Lady Buffs in front. Which Kendra Potts, her group going for their 9th win of the year today. Tolbert calling for it back. Squares it up in the back row. Lady Buffs have it down the line, and Catherine Cruz has the dig for St. Mary's in the white jerseys as Tolbert swings. That one heading a little deep. Head anyway by the Lady Buffs as that one's floated over. Get a chance at a rally as Sims on the tip over in the middle of the court is good. And the Rattlers stay close, down just 1. 9 ties, 4 lead changes in that first set. 125-22 by the Lady Buffaloes. Closed out the set on a 5-2 run. You know, it was right down to the wire in the first, but Lady Buffaloes have been up by 4 a couple of times here early in the second set. Rattlers hanging tough, trying to find a way here today. Can they come up with a win against a team that they've had very minimal success against in their history? Set by Perry, tried to play it over on 2. Doesn't get it. Here come the Lady Buffs. Good dig. Made over there in the back row by Haley Bradfoot. Rattlers with the answer. Lady Buffs on another back set to the right, and that shot is good. Lindsey Smith again with a great shot. Lindsey Smith leading her team with 8 kills and 13 swings. And already you can tell Coach Armstrong is looking over there and talking with her senior captain, KK Payne, saying, hey, we've got to see this a little bit better. 8-6 our score. We're in the second. Lady Buffs in front. Longer run for Perry. You know, those are the players you really worry about as that shot is wide from KK Payne. You know, those setters, when you're running 5-1 offenses, setters have to be in good shape because the pass isn't perfect sometimes. You can be running. Bree Perry's had to move quite a little bit here today. Down 3 are the Rattlers. Pass perfect this time. Left side, Payne floats it over. It was a little high for her. She mistimed her jump. And for the first time, West Texas A&M gets a left-hander in there. Sadie Snee tried to line up and hit. There's a couple of sets like that that will work. Side out, by the way, to the Rattlers after that shot around the wrong side of the antenna. But West Texas has some people that can set, and they will use that occasionally. Tori Miller can actually set from time to time. As that is tipped over. Tolbert's got it up front. Over to Julia Diaz, blocked onto the Buff side. Off a screen right, another block, and that is inbounds. Big block on the left side. Diaz collaborates over there, along with KK Payne. And the Rattlers stay close, 9-8 here in set number 2. 1-0 on the big board for West Texas A&M. They lead. Here's the set left side off the top of the net that time from Baptiste, trying to get her game going in the second set. Haven't been able to find her a lot in rotation as that shot is good. Sadie Snee, the sophomore out of Kingman, Arizona, again, looks like a hitter when she lines up. She is a left-hander primarily, but she just kind of stood up there on number 2 and smoked it. St. Mary's thought there might have been something not legal at the front of the net. They won't get the shot they wanted. 10-8 in favor of the Lady Buffaloes. That one fluttered back over. Buffs with it down the line. Good job by Bradfoot again. She's taking some hard shots trying to protect that near sideline. Coming back on the cross-court shot. Baptiste, shot is good. And it's 11-8. West Texas A&M, as we mentioned, they've only lost twice. Once to Angelo State, who is receiving votes in the top 25. The other to 4th-ranked Washburn at the time. It's an MIAA program. Free ball at the front of the net, and that shot is good. Coach Armstrong has already used a timeout, but Katrina Johnson just buried that one. And right now, St. Mary's looks to be on their heels a little bit. 12-8 here in this second set. Got to find a way to create some energy. Good jump serve at KK Payne. That's been the primary spot. Julia Diaz flips it over. Lady Buffs coming back. This time it's blocked at the net, but another point and kill for Selena Baptiste. Now 6 kills. She is second on the team here today with those 6 kills. Gives her 126 on the season. Her and Miller over 380 already. I mean, that's impressive. 12 matches in as that dig attempt is not well received. Good swing over off the edge by KK Payne. KK was looking at that going, seriously? And you kind of have that joke as Lindsey Smith is in the back row. She was caught out of position trying to cover that, trying to make the dig. That thing went 40 feet the other direction. 13-9. Lady Buffs with some separation. Off to the edge, Baptiste is kept alive. Good job by Bree Perry as Tolbert clips the net. Good defense on both sides. The swing, Baptiste. Cruz covers. Good play by St. Mary's to keep the point going. They're down 13-9 here in the second set. Another kill from the middle by the Lady Buffaloes. No answer yet for St. Mary's. Katrina Johnson, the point once again. And again, you talk about the formula. First off for the Lady Buffs, 258. The hitting percentage good as expected coming in today. But St. Mary's has got to find a way to stay with it in the middle. They catch a free ball. Perry behind her to the right, and Amara Martinez can't get it over. Another point to the Lady Buffs, and this is a difficult spot for the head coach, Stephanie Armstrong. She has to burn her second timeout, only 24 points in to this set. We'll step aside for a quick timeout. Rattlers are down 15-9, their largest deficit of the match. This is St. Mary's Rattler Volleyball on the Lone Star Conference Network.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve.
We're in the second set here in San Antonio on campus at St. Mary's University, 15-9. Glad to have you with us here today. Rattlers trying to play from behind here today against the folks out of Canyon, Texas, and they needed to play, and they get it from Amara Martinez. 15-10 our score. Lady Buffs at 8-2. Rattlers are 7-4. St. Mary's had a good start to the season. They have lost a couple of things here so far today. Sorry, guys, my fault. But you talk about, St. Mary's, they've started well. They've been inconsistent at times. Their first time in this league, and look out below from Tori Miller. Leader coming in the conference. And the freshman, when she elevates, look out. When she gets a clean set, she's missed 3 times today. She's got 5 kills in 3 airs. But, she's such a talented player with her ability. 172 kills on the season. Averaging over 4 per set. That's very, very good. Here's the pass into the middle, especially at this particular level, as that shot is wide, and Miller on the plant just missed it. This is that growth moment that you can see it. You look at it on the face of Coach Potts, and, she's very clear. You can see it. That Miller's going to get going, but she's got to learn and kind of adjust where exactly everything is at for the Brownwood, Texas native. Adjusting to how things change up, she didn't quite see that one. Swinging again, missing again. Back-to-back shots. 16-12. Again, a run in the middle of the set. 8-3, as it were. 16-12. Julia Diaz, who had a nice service game yesterday, trying to bring her team back. Here's a set to the left. That's deep. Isabel Hurleman misses. And a timeout called by Coach Kendra Potts. We'll stay here this time. And that's one of those things where, again, Coach Potts is just looking over there and talking with her freshman Tori Miller about what is next. Just got to be able to understand, hey, here's where it's at. Here's what you got to learn. You know, St. Mary's has really changed up their defense against 31 and 10. That was the whole plan coming in today for Stephanie Armstrong's group. You know, they got to find a way to keep those two players quiet, or quieter at least, if they were to have any type of chance here today. West Texas A&M, they won the first set 25-22. They're up 16-13, but the Rattlers have 3 wins in a row. St. Mary's won for the first time as members of the Lone Star Conference yesterday. Coach Armstrong said it was a big win, but now we got to find a way to get a second. And the first thing that comes with that as well is that, you know, she was really high on her team's energy and how at times yesterday it somewhat lacked. Really needs that to be a little bit better. You know, they had enough against the Greyhounds. Eastern New Mexico has struggled in a lot of ways this season, still trying to adjust to now an interim head coach. You know, there's a lot of changes going on there. Rattlers probably took advantage. But West Texas A&M, they know at this point it's one of those deals that they've got to just find something that works for them. As Martinez for St. Mary's, another point, 4 in a row. On a free ball, Lady Buffs missed on a pass. And again, you know, this was certainly part of the worry from Coach Potts and her group. How are they at mentally after a long night yesterday? Certainly part of it as well. Serving to the back row at Vogel. Set up to the right, and that shot again is blocked. Sims a much better angle that time. Gets up and takes it away at the net. 5th block of the match for the Rattlers. They outblocked the Lady Buffaloes for the first time these two teams played in a non-league game back in early September. Pass to the front of the net, free ball, and Jasmine Sims misses. And the Buffaloes exhale after a miss. Rattlers with a good run, though. They take 5 in a row, just 1 tie, 1 lead change here in this set. St. Mary's hitting 113, 18 kills, 10 more to the Lady Buffs as that shot is dug up. Good play by Vogel. Off the left side, and the Rattlers have the dig. Coming back off the left side is Tolbert. The point off the deflection, and the Rattlers pull within 1, 17-16. Good energy right here from St. Mary's. Surging back, Haley Bradfoot will serve. Bradfoot and Cruz in the back row, along with Gabby Sandoval, who's wearing a same color jersey. Big dig right there by Cruz. Left side, Tolbert, front of the net, tipped down, and Jasmine Sims has equaled the score for the Rattlers. It's 17 apiece. Well, St. Mary's down at 1 point by 6. Out of timeouts, they needed a surge. They have found it. Tied up at 17. Floating serve in the back row. Up front, set behind by Snee. Tipped over. Rattlers cover. Bradfoot, good pass over there to Tolbert. They like where they're at in the rotation as it's placed over in 2. And another smooth play by Sadie Snee, a sophomore, side out to West Texas A&M. That's a great savvy move by the starting center here today for the Lady Buffaloes. Tori Miller with the option to serve right to our left. Lady Buffs in the black jerseys. St. Mary's in whites today. Sims swinging, and that is good. Jasmine Sims leading her team. 7 kills, just 1 attacking error today in 12 attempts. Jasmine Sims picking up where she left off yesterday, was our Pizza Patron player of the game. Trying to get in line with that once again. Sims with 7, Martinez with 5. Shea Slusser's got 4 today. KK Payne also with 3. As they get the floor wiped up, having that quick moment is Alyssa Tolbert. Will serve, the San Antonio native out of Marshall High School. Serve into the back row, tied at 18. Deep set that time to Tori Miller. She was back there a ways as that shot is heading deep. Rattlers tried to find one in the middle, but somebody was into the net, I think. They called, I'm not sure who they called into the net for the Lady Buffs. I think they had to have been talking about Lindsey Smith. And the officials see it that way. The call remains. So St. Mary's instead pushes ahead by 1, 19-18. About where we were in that last set as Again, Snake tried to pull one off again. This time Rattlers covered as that is blocked to the front of the net. Lindsey Smith with the block. That shot was low. And I'll tell you, that's the issue you run into. Height is a problem, but you go back to Bree Perry, who played very well yesterday. A couple of her sets have just been a little bit off. It's made a huge difference. Tied at 19, service error. Talked about that earlier in the match. That is another that the visiting squad has to absorb. That can be a problem. Service error number 5 here in this match. 20-19, St. Mary's in the second, trying to even it out. Free ball at the front, Tolbert the dig. Perry the set. Oh, watch out. 2 players collide behind as Perry just missed the shot, and oh, that's a tough ricochet as Lindsey Smith just dropped one as Haley Bradfoot's walking back the other, saying she took it on the chin a little bit. Good job in a moment's notice. But that's kind of the way that this second set has evolved into it. 20 even. All right, who gets to 25? Left side, KK Payne elevates and smashes one through. That's a big shot for KK. Love to have that one for her. KK Payne with her 4th kill of the match. And missed previously. Bree Perry to serve, 21-20. Rattlers in the second, they're down 1-0. Serve into the back row, passed up front, covered up. Snae's been trying to play that shot on number 2. It hasn't worked in the last 3 tries. Set back over to Baptiste, who's back into the game. And Baptiste, the 5'9 junior, with the kill. And side out, 21 even here in this second set. Rattlers starting to amp it up a little bit. Here's the serve, back row at Tolbert, up to Perry. Passes it left side and smashed through the double block. KK Payne, that time able to get it around the 6'3 Katrina Johnson for the point. St. Mary's by 1, 22-21. Trying to trade off here at the end. Payne ready on the approach. One running jump serve and a rotation problem. And they get the Lady Buffs out of rotation. And, the referee on the floor has been watching that the last couple of points. Wasn't quite sure about that. And now a timeout taken by Kendra Potts, her second. We'll step aside quickly. 23-21, Rattlers trying to even it when we come back. This is St. Mary's Rattler Volleyball on the Lone Star Conference Network.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a rich history of athletic success, the Lone Star Conference has long been known as a leader in intercollegiate athletics. Now with 19 institutions that embody the best in college sports, the Lone Star Conference is the largest and most dynamic conference in NCAA Division II. 19 members strong, 19 members proud. This is the new Lone Star Conference.
23-21 here in the second set. Rattlers in front. Andrew Stossmeister today here from San Antonio. Rattlers trying to play from behind. It was 15-9. West Texas A&M was cruising. They thought they might be in the driver's seat, but the Rattlers have put together 14 of the last 20 points to get back into it, and then ultimately take the lead here after we were tied at 20. I've got 3 of the last 4. KK Payne with honors to serve. 6 ties and 4 lead changes in the set. Payne ready in the white jersey, serves it up left to right into the back row. Handled over there by Eagleton and dumped up and over. Long run. Payne's able to get to it. And Bree Perry with her back to the net slaps it over. Here's the set. Right side. Baptiste is dug up. 2 players collide for St. Mary's. Ball goes over. Exciting point right here. This one's got that feel of a momentum shifter. And the shot is good. Double hit called out there on the court for the Lady Buffs, and the Rattlers have set point, 24-21. KK Payne trying to finish it off. Running jump serve, that's her best right there. Buffaloes handle it. They come to Tori Miller, dug up off of the left side. Tolbert swings, great deflection by the Buffaloes of West Texas A&M. Set to Tolbert again, blocked, but it's out of bounds, and the Rattlers respond. What a job by St. Mary's in the second set, trailing by 6. They go on to take 16 of the next 22 points and win the second set 25-21. We're tied at 1 as we head to the third set next. This is St. Mary's Volleyball back after this timeout on the Lone Star Digital Network.
Put the icing on the cake for St. Mary's. Pato into the back of the net. Pato runs over it, right. Shot, goal, Ollie right.
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet. A culture that is quickly becoming the flavor of the neighborhood. Real fresh, real flavor. That's Pizza Patron.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves. Our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Welcome back to San Antonio here on campus at St. Mary's University. It's tied at 1. The Rattlers with a 16-6 run. They take 5 of the last 6 to win the second set 25-21 and even out the match against the West Texas A&M Lady Buffaloes. Andrew Stossmeister back on behalf of our crew here today at Bill Greehey Arena. You know, the Rattlers looked like they were staring down 0-2 before they came out with a real strong surge. And, you look to where do you find somebody that can step up and make plays. The Rattlers found absolutely that. Jasmine Sims really had her presence felt, and KK Payne, each time the match got very close, a point or two, she had some big shots. Amara Martinez as well was big up front. But the Rattlers, you could just tell, kind of looked like they took a deep breath, settled back down a little bit, and got back to their success, and it seemed to work out in their favor. The Buffaloes, meanwhile, they might have gotten a little too comfortable, and we talked about it last night. They played 5 sets, 2.5-hour match. They're tired. They're traveling. They have to go between the cities to get to where they're going. This, San Antonio and Austin is not too bad of a travel period, but it's definitely one of those times where you're still traveling, you're still staying in a hotel room, not your own bed, and you have to find a way to respond. And the Rattlers, after struggling in that first set to close it out, they do so in the second. And now it's even here through 2 sets as we get set to begin our third set. Hey, fans, can't get enough of your Rattlers? Download the Fang Incentives Fan Rewards app today. You can check in, earn points, and redeem prizes. It's that easy. Available on Google Play and the App Store. Sign up now and show your Rattler pride. Starting lineups back out there for the Rattlers. I'll go with Payne, Martinez, and Diaz up front. Julia Diaz was actually getting her lower back worked out in that last timeout. And then Alyssa Tolbert, Bree Perry, and Catherine Cruz. The libero wearing the royal blue shirt today. We'll check into the back row. Lady Buffs will get back out as their rotation starts off with Miller in the back row. Miller, Katrina Johnson up front. Also, Chandler Vogel is out there. Cameron Arteli and Sydney Snape in the black jerseys for the Lady Buffaloes. Tied at 1, ready to go as Bree Perry will start things off with the service game right to left. Teams changing ends. Free ball at the front of the net, and it's dumped over the net. Good recognition by Julia Diaz. 1-0 start for St. Mary's here in set number 3. We've had a total of 15 ties and 6 lead changes here in the match. Most of those coming in the beginning, but again, it was really quite the shift in set number 2. As it went down to the wire, Baptiste dug up by Tolbert. Bree Perry left side. KK Payne adjusted the net and does a great job to just get it over. That shot is flicked over. Cruz has got it. A renewed energy for St. Mary's. Buffaloes have to chase. Tori Miller, good defense, gets it back over. 1-0 Rattlers here in the third. Tied at 1. That one's dumped over. Getting a lot of traffic in between 10 feet in the net. Longest point of the match so far. KK Payne tries to bury it. Free ball at the net. Slapped over. Julia Diaz the point. And St. Mary's pushes forward 2-0. I think the Rattlers are happy to be home. They spent their first 10 matches on the road. Did not win a league game last weekend in their first 2 official matches as members of the Lone Star Conference. But they picked up their first yesterday. And they're trying to make it 2 in a row here today. St. Mary's 7-4, Buffalo's 8-2. That shot is deep. Buffs are asking for a tip. They are going to challenge, it would appear right now. So they'll stop things up and take a look-see at the replay. 3-0 as it would sit. We'll have to wait and see as that replay unfolds. And, I think that's, been, again, an interesting factor as it's come through. I think both the line judges, and we're right in front of the chair umpire, and you look at them and you'll say, I don't think so. Maybe. Try to get a look and have a little bit better angle at it across the floor from us. Been wrong. I've been wrong a few times before. It doesn't surprise me. I thought the last one was pretty clear, and they got that one right. At this point, though, we'll have to wait and see. It looked like somebody for St. Mary's kind of jumped and moved. To see as it continues right on through. As we mentioned, everybody in action today. Everybody in action a little bit early, though, which was a bit surprising. I mean, it's kind of, if the travel isn't too bad, as I understand it, that's something that certainly can happen. But Commerce has already won today over Texas Women's 3-1. Tarleton defeated International 3-0 in straight sets. Tarleton in the top 25 right now. St. Ed's through Eastern New Mexico and 74 minutes, I think, was the time of their match. They won in straight sets. Kingsville and DBU, they're in the third. That one's locked in a tight one at 1 apiece. Angelo State, 2 points away from finishing off Western New Mexico at home. Lubbock Christian and UTPB are in the third set right now. The Texas Permian Basin is ahead by 7 at the Rip Griffin Center in Lubbock. That's a little bit of a looker as well. And then UT Tyler and Midwestern State are playing today. They're in the third set, tied at 1 apiece. Those are the matches that are going on right now as it would sit. So we'll see how the remainder of those play out. Arkansas Fort Smith also has a match today, but it's a non-conference game. They'll take on Southern Nazarene. There is no update from that match right now. Still trying to review the current play over at the monitor to check and see if there was or was not a tip. Rattlers trying to jump out quickly. Want a long rally point on point number 2. Each team has challenged here today. One successful challenge. Again, they're asking for a tip, and these are hard ones to see. I mean, they've established some new cameras. Got one on the net right now, and they feel like they have their decision. But I tell you what, it's given one more thing for that floor official to make the call with. And they're going over there and they're trying to, again, illustrate their decision. They're still looking at this to see if they can tell whether or not there was a tip. Looked like Harvey Madrigal had made his choice and then he kind of backed off. Eric Sanders, the head referee today. The chair umpire, Tom Tanaka, Stephen Jennings, those guys are on the lines for the Lone Star Conference. Fans a little bit restless. Getting a chance to watch here for just the second time at home here at Bill Greehey Arena. Rattlers won't be back for a couple more weeks. They go on the road next weekend, one of their longest swings of the season. I'll head down to Silver City, New Mexico, playing that cross bracket as it works out in each pod. They're still trying to, again, review and see if they can get an angle that they would like. See if there is reviewable content. We talked about it at this new conference. The Buffaloes picked 4th. St. Mary's picked 9th. Just in contrast, the former Heartland Conference members that all came over, they didn't get a lot of love in the new preseason polls that came out. Fort Smith, I think, was the highest, and I think they finished 6th or 5th at the preseason rankings. The way that the pod situation works out for St. Mary's this year, they're picked 9th out of the 18 teams. DBU, Tarleton, Kingsville, International, and St. Ed's will all play St. Mary's twice, and then you get crossover meetings. So right now this is the first pod that is St. Mary's is getting to cross over with. They're in the second one, and then you have another one in the third, so 6 teams in each. And again, still trying to review the last call of a tip or not. Now, it hasn't been anything decisive, and now I think the official has made his decision. He'll look at it and he'll see if the result works or not to the head coach. And I'll tell you what, it's funny. I'm talking to the coaches about this review. It's been really fun already early on this season because they might see one thing and then their players see another. And some coaches will trust what their players see. Others will not. And so far, in the plays that we've seen, hey, players have asked their coach, hey, challenge this, challenge this. Most of those have been wrong. When a coach is challenged, the more of those have been right that I've seen, at least in the first 3 weeks of the season. It is what it is, but we're back and underway. Point stands. It's 3-0 St. Mary's as that shot is deep. Tolbert on the hit. Cat Cruz passes it up to KK Payne and dumps it over. Look out as 2 players go right into each other and collide for the Lady Buffs, and it's a point for St. Mary's. Challenge point right here for West Texas A&M. And it's interesting talking as well with Coach Potts. Casey Shingler is back as an assistant after the last few seasons, and he was saying, hey, I'm going to get out there, and he let his players hear it on that one. 4-0 Rattlers here in the third set. Low serve, pass back around. Big shot dug up by Cruz. Good dive around to keep that alive for St. Mary's. Buffalo's back to the middle where they had a ton of success, and they find it from Lindsey Smith. And they're onto the scoreboard here in this third. 4-1. Statistically speaking, West Texas A&M has hit the ball pretty well, but they struggled in that second set. Percentages have really come down for them. They really kind of flamed out as that shot is into the net for KK Payne. Payne with her third, make it fourth error of the match. No player yet to double figures in kills. Batista and Smith each have 9 though. For West Texas A&M, Jasmine Sims has 8 for the Rattlers. Sims again, a lot of her points coming from the middle as the net point is 1. Sadie Snee once again right up close. Had some help. Katrina Johnson there. And 3 in a row for the Lady Buffaloes. Set number 3, best of 5 here tonight. KK Payne through the middle, got blocked. Not many of those today. Again, the Rattlers have had a lot of successes when they get attempts in the middle. Payne behind her, Marla Martinez dug up. Good play over there by Tori Miller. As that is blocked through, but it's another point for the Buffaloes. Smith and Batista over there. Batista the credit. So each team scores 4 in a row to begin set number 3. All tied up. Our 16th tie of the match. Low line drive serve right to the middle of the court as Perry tried to pull a quick one. West Texas A&M covered it very well. Now the ball is near the scorer's table. Look out over that direction as the Rattlers get the side out. Good job up front. Martinez got the block, and then it trickled for a while before it finally was ended at the scorer's table. 5-4 Rattlers. Trying to win for the first time since 2004 against West Texas A&M. Up in the front of the net, slapped over, back corner. That's a great shot. What a job by Sadie Snee again. Sadie Snee with her 5th kill of the match. I mean, that just makes life all the different for her. I mean, that's your setter that's got 4 kills. That's a big swing. It is in for the Rattlers. Julia Diaz jumps and finds what she'd like. Sadie Snee, though, thought it was out, at least where she was at on the line. 6-5, St. Mary's. Diaz with honors will serve it up right to left. In the back corner of the court. Coming right side, Batiste is dug up. Rattlers, though, can't get past 1 to pass 2. And we trade off 6 apiece here through the first 12 points of this third set. Substitution. Chandler Vogel and the white jersey for the Buffaloes steps into our left side. Fans have watched pretty good volleyball here today. First set was very competitive, not much separation as Tolbert buries one in the back left corner for the kill. Good shot by and swing by Alyssa Tolbert, her 3rd kill of the match. But you talk about it again, that second set, really the first half of the set went in favor of the Buffaloes. They kind of felt some pressure and looked like they kind of got a little too comfortable, and the Rattlers put it together, went on a 16-6 run. 7-6 our score. We're in the third, tied at 1. That one hits the top of the net and falls on the Buffalo side. And a 2-point lead for St. Mary's. They went up 4-0. Another substitution. And Julia Borschel, a senior out of Orland Park, Illinois, by way of UNC Asheville. One of the few transfers here into the program from that Division I level. A couple of community college kids have been recruited by Kendra Potts. She's excited about this freshman class, but if you ask her, without being rude to the class that's there right now, she loves what's coming. As that kill is good. Nice swing in the middle by Jasmine Sims. And a timeout is taken on the West Texas A&M side. 9-6 Rattlers. We'll go ahead and take a quick timeout. This is St. Mary's Volleyball on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Back in set number 3 here in San Antonio on campus at St. Mary's University. Andrew Stossmeister, happy to be with you. We're tied at 1 in the third, 9-6 our score. Rattlers try to, as we mentioned, beat a team that has beaten them 12 straight times. And, you know, you talk to a lot of these girls. They played earlier this year, and then there was another meeting a season ago. But it's not like these two teams have played each other every year. There's some gaps in there. A lot of meetings in the 2000s, especially the late part of the decade, in the tournament in Canyon. And out of the timeout, it is a successful timeout used by head coach Kendra Potts. But, you know, the Buffaloes primarily a national contender in Division II in their time. The Rattlers have won twice, 2003, 2004. Those were big wins when they happened here, too. Jasmine Sims down the line to the right. Misses, did not get the tip, I don't think. And the Buffaloes back-to-back points out of the timeout. It's 9-8. Buffs won the first set, 25-22. Rattlers responded 25-21 in the second. Short serve at KK Payne, up to Bree Perry. Tolbert angles, shot is up, that'll be good. So Alyssa Tolbert, another kill. Rattlers again, their hitting percentage as the match has gone on has improved. Up right now to 175. West Texas A&M, meanwhile, they've dropped almost 70 points in the last few sets as Tolbert misses on the service there. That's one of those, again, that, you know, if you're St. Mary's, you're not real pleased about those. It was a struggle last night. One service error today. They have mishit 4 times now on the service game. Serve at Tolbert, and that's going to be a receiving error. And the Rattlers have done a pretty good job avoiding that part of their game. You know, and that's, again, just a mental focus. Coach Armstrong looking and seeing right now. Tied at 10, 20 points into the third set. Good serve at Tolbert again. Perry high to Sims, and the shot is good. Jasmine Sims, continuing to stay strong with her game. She's the first player for her team to double-digit kills. She's got 10. Selena Batiste has 11 and is pacing the Lady Buffaloes. Serve comes into the back row. It Cressu's in, and the answer and response once again in the middle. Lindsey Smith. You know, the two middles have played very well for West Texas A&M here today. Had a lot of success working in their favor. New players subbing in for the Lady Buffaloes. I'll go ahead and bring Arteli back in. Serving to the back right corner, and that's just deep as Haley Bradfoot sitting on the line, watches it hover about 1.5 inches past. And the Rattlers regain the advantage by 1. 12-11 here in set number 3. We're tied at 1 on the big board. One of the few matches still going in the Lone Star Conference right now today. Running jump serve by Bree Perry. That one might have been heading deep, hit anyway by the Buffs. They go to their leader on that side. Shot is up, it is no good. Martinez, the shot is good, and the Rattlers by 2, 13-11. Amara Martinez now with 6 kills. And, you know, this is part of the balance that I think worked really well last night for St. Mary's. First off, their coach talked about it. We need to have balance. Secondly, the energy. We can't be out-hit with energy on our home floor. Good pass up front, set to the left side. Batiste, and her shot is good. Selena Batiste on that kill. And a side back out, 13-12. You know, both teams, you can tell energy has kind of fluctuated at times here today. But each have risen to the occasion when it matters. That's why we're tied at 1. Not much separation here in the third as KK Payne, the veteran, down the sideline, a returning starter for St. Mary's. One of 3 primary players, but then you have defenders, Kat Cruz, who is back. You know, Savannah Alcazar, also a transfer player that has come in and joined. Rachel McDonald, who played a lot last year, has not been used yet here today. Donald played a lot last night as that one finds its way over and out of bounds. That's off of Bree Perry. You know, the one thing I think that sometimes can be lost in this game, and one of my favorite things about watching at this level is that you can see right now as they get a quick substitution. But you can see a lot of people that are playing. They're smiling. They're having fun. Sometimes that gets lost on college athletes. You forget that sometimes, that the game is still fun. 14-13 is our score. Bree Perry coming over to ask the official something, but maybe a warning just about that. Make sure everything is fine. Perry, good pass to Tolbert, off a deflection. The Lady Buffs have it off to the left side. That's heading deep. It's touched anyway, though, by St. Mary's, and a point kill that time again to Selena Batiste, her 13th of the match. Tied at 14. Neither team able to create much separation in the set on our 5th tie. That's on the line, and this time between Cruz and Sandoval, neither of them hit it, and a timeout is called. We'll take it with the 3rd set, and West Texas A&M finding themselves ahead with 4 straight points. They lead it 15-14 here in San Antonio. This is St. Mary's Rattler Volleyball on the Lone Star Conference Network.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a rich history of athletic success, the Lone Star Conference has long been known as a leader in intercollegiate athletics. Now with 19 institutions that embody the best in college sports, the Lone Star Conference is the largest and most dynamic conference in NCAA Division II. 19 members strong, 19 members proud. This is the new Lone Star Conference.
Back in the 3rd set from San Antonio, it's 15-14. West Texas A&M has a little run going as they find themselves back ahead. The Buffaloes hit the ball well in the 1st set, struggled in the 2nd. Now back up here in this 3rd set, they lead at 15-14. Hey fans, shop East Bay for the latest brand name shoes, apparel, and more. Loyalty Club 90-day returns and a fit promise guarantee. You can gear up your game today at eastbay.com. On behalf of our entire crew today from Bill Greehey Arena, I'm Andrew Stossmeister. Glad to have you with us. Buffalo's out of the timeout with the serve. Right at Tolbert. Might have gotten away with a double hit. Cruz fluxes it over. And the Buffs have it back. They come to the right side and nearly dug up, but not that time as Tori Miller, who has in large part been pretty quiet here today, doesn't come up with a shot that she would like. Enough so far today, but Miller with 5 kills on the afternoon. Here's the set to Sims, blocked and kept alive. Here's the pass to Martinez down the right sideline. The 6'1" junior with the point. And again, not much has changed for the Rattlers. You know, it's one of those deals that you can see they're using different lineups. They have different people they want to play. And it's somewhat surprising. You know, they feel they got a lot of people. They got 12 people that can play. You do that, it's pretty good. As somebody, they step over the line underneath and make contact with the net. Just that close. I don't think that's exactly how Coach Kendra Potts saw it, but it's a point for St. Mary's, and we're tied at 16. Julia Diaz on the serve, and Baptiste with a miss hit. Can't get to that one. And the Rattlers back ahead. Who'd have thought, right? Those timeouts. Coaches look like geniuses every time they use them. And when you ask them about it, they will joke and joke some more about it because of the way that it has gone. You know, you look at West Texas A&M, we talked about it. They hit 268 in the first, 143 in the second. They're back into the 300s right now, but the Rattlers by 2. Tolbert the kill is up and good. St. Mary's on the flip side, they're getting better as well. 12 kills in the set, just 2 errors, having their best set of the match so far. 18-16 in the third, tied at 1 apiece. Another good serve by Diaz. This has been the rotation. St. Mary's has had success. Good dig by Perry. Passed up into the back row. Dump backside. Lady Buffaloes have it. Blocked to the front of the net, but unable to get to that one is Bree Perry, and a side out to the Buffaloes of West Texas A&M. 8-2 on the year, 2-1 in league play. The Rattlers of St. Mary's are 7-4. They're 1-2. Baptiste back to serve. Short serve handled by Sandoval. Good pass by Perry over to Tolbert, who lines up her crossing shot and puts it down the right sideline. That's made possible by a real good set, and can't talk about the benefit of having a setter back like the Rattlers do. I feel very grateful to have that this season. Bree Perry, the senior out of Houston, by way of Houston Christian. She's a good player for this Rattler group. Excited, you know, she's one of the players you talk to is joining the Lone Star. You excited? You nervous? A lot of excitement. That shot is deep as Tori Miller misses. Coach Potts trying to keep her team focused. 20-17 here in the third set. Rattlers find themselves with a 3-point advantage. And a timeout is called. We'll stay here this time, but you can kind of tell that West Texas A&M, their energy has fallen off a little bit. To me, I've started to see they've just gone away from what was really, really working, and give credit that St. Mary's has made a couple of changes that affect that. And, you know, when you talk to coaches, of course they say that's the way it was meant to be, but I've seen St. Mary's has kind of changed up their defensive alignment a little bit. They're covering up Miller and Batiste much better, but West Texas A&M, they've not really gone back to their middle where they were having a ton of success, and I'm sure that's got to be part of the conversation that Coach Kendra Potts, as you can see in the huddle, is having right now. Plus, you're at the end of a long road trip. Remember, this is as far almost as you can go in this footprint of this conference. It is really widened up with 18 teams now, 4 states included, and they have had success against their primary opponent in the RMAC this year. But, I mean, we talk about it. I mean, there's teams from Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Arkansas now in the Lone Star Conference. It's still in the same region, South Central region, that takes its top 6 finishers. Typically, as it would sit, you know, you get your league winners and then 41 other teams, I think, as it is. You know, but Lone Star has had early season success in their tournaments, 22-15 coming into this weekend. Out of the timeout, Rattlers by 3, 20-17. That money time all coaches talk about. Ball is up from Bradfoot. Back row, pretty good pass over to the right side. The shot is good. Tori Miller on the side out. Miller, as we've mentioned today, has been quiet most of the match in a lot of ways, but you know, she was no doubt the player that it was coming to for West Texas A&M. Now with 6 kills. Make it 7. 20-18. Rattlers in a spot where they can trade. Bree Perry over to Alyssa Tolbert. Shot is up, dug up, back row. Nice job by Hurleman as she gets to it in time. Cruz the dig this time for St. Mary's. Right to left, down the line. Another great play by Eagleton. Back over to Tolbert. Spots it up. Shot is good. Right in between 2 defenders. Chandler Vogel, the libero, dove, couldn't come up with it. Fans for St. Mary's liking what they're seeing. 21-18, we're in the third. You'd have asked me 20 minutes ago how this thing was going. Might have thought differently. Rattlers were down 15-9 in the second. Could have been staring down 2-0. Instead, they rallied, went on a 16-6 run, and they have kept their energy up. Good shot off the left side. That time, I believe Isabel Hurleman that time, the freshman. But again, you talk about it for St. Mary's. You know, the difference of being down 2-0 to up 1, or tying it up at 1-1, and now having a look to go up 2-1. Big chance right here is Tolbert with a difficult pass. I think, again, got away with a very close one. Ball ricochets into the net and gets over in 3 hits. Bree Perry sneaks it on 2, and she catches the libero out of position. And a great job underneath by the Rattlers. Finding the senior Bree Perry with her first kill attempt of the night in 6 tries. 22-19, Rattlers. No timeouts left for the Buffaloes. St. Mary's has 1 at their disposal. Off the left side, and the shot is good. And that was the strength for a set and a half. Lindsey Smith the kill, her 11th of the match. But that's where it's real sharp for the Lady Buffs. Think that if they have that going, if they get back to their system in the middle, St. Mary's could be in trouble. Tied to the net, dumped over by Perry, and it's taken away. The freshman, Tori Miller, got in her own way and ran into Artelli, who was back there, and missed it. 23-20, St. Mary's here in the third set, trying to go up 2-1. Bree Perry will serve, saying where to go, and she said made it pretty clear down the line. Out to the right side, shot is up, kept alive. Perry got a piece of it, dumped over in the back row. Here come the Buffaloes. Smith to Perry. St. Mary's sets it up. KK Payne on the shot. Good dig back row that time by Vogel. Kept alive, long rally point. Not gonna be this time as Tolbert can't come up with that. Now the Rattlers still in a good spot, 23-21. Buffaloes need the surge. They go for their 9th win tonight, trying to sweep a road trip. And Austin and San Antonio, Rattlers have other options in front of them. Another pass, but a double hit called on that pass. They get Perry for 2 hits, and it's 23-22. Lindsey Smith trying to make sure plenty of air on the volleyball, sends it over. KK Payne to Perry, back to the senior who flicks it over. Players collide. That's why communication is so important right there. Is that ball heading out? Hit anyway by Catherine Cruz. Perry will dump it. It's at the front of the net. A lot of people right there. It's blocked by Julia Cruz. Free ball over to St. Mary's. They go right side to Martinez. Tough angle. Great get on the other side by Tori Miller. And St. Mary's has it back. Perry at the net. It's deflected. And I think that's over the net. You can't reach over and do that. And it'll be a point for the Rattlers. They should have set point. Some frustration over on the sideline from head coach Kendra Potts. Again, the ball was on St. Mary's side, and the ball had come over. You can't have Lindsey Smith reach over and touch the ball like that. You know, that's an angle shot. I don't think there's anything of review here, but, you know, I think that was the correct call enforced. 24-22 is, again, the call continues to be argued by the head coach over there on the sideline, Kendra Potts. Her first year in charge, the former All-American for the Buffaloes back in the early 2000s. Again, still trying to plead her case. You know, from her angle, I can see that too. You know, you can't really tell. You got a lot of bodies in front of you. But we're fortunate. We're sitting on the other side of the net, and we could see right at it with the angle. There wasn't a whole lot to argue about. 24-22. Set point. This is a big spot right here for the Rattlers, trying to take a 2-1 lead. KK Payne with the honor. Jump serve is over. Handled over there on the pass from Snee. Left side. It's dug up. Rattlers go back to the middle, and the shot is good. Julia Cruz with a big shot, and the Rattlers look down at one point in this match, maybe staring 2-0 down. They have rallied back. They have won back-to-back sets, and they lead it 2-1. As we head to set number 4, the Rattlers are in front 2-1. This is St. Mary's Volleyball on the Lone Star Conference Network.
Put the icing on the cake for St. Mary's. Pato into the back of the net. Pato runs over it, right. Shot, goal, Ollie Wright.
Last season, we made history. This year, we will build our legacy.
Back here in San Antonio, Rattlers have pushed ahead 2-1, maybe turning some heads out there for those looking on. If you're just joining us, we're glad to have you with us here today from St. Mary's University on campus at Bill Greehey Arena. I'm Andrew Stossmeister. The Rattlers lost the first set 25-22. They were down 15-9 in the second set, but they go on a run. They end up taking 16 of the next 22 points and finishing the set on a 5-1 run to win the second set 25-21 in the third. They jump out early. It's close. There were 7 ties throughout, but the Rattlers, they go up 20-17. They never relinquish that lead. They trade and ultimately win the third set 25-22, and now they sit on the cusp of what would be a major upset. Can they finish it, though? You know, it's great to get this far. It's a hard thing to accomplish, but at the same time, if you're St. Mary's, you're in the driver's seat trying to take advantage of a team that played a long match last night. They're going to have to try to play 5 if they expect to get out of this road trip with another victory. Today's game is presented by Nike. Stop by and shop your style with Nike shoes for running, training, basketball, and more. Shop Nike.com for the ultimate selection of shoes, clothing, and apparel. Free shipping for members plus free 30-day returns. Nike, just do it. Update on some of the numbers for today. Rattlers, what a third set they had hitting the volleyball. They hit 405 as a team, 17 kills to just 2 errors. That's, talk about earning your points, right? I mean, that's how you do it. On the other side, West Texas A&M, they have slipped as the match has gone along. Didn't hit badly in that third set. They were 270, but they struggled in the second. They have committed 18 errors to their 46 kills, right now at 220 for the match, while the Rattlers are hitting 234. Individual leaders for both sides at this point. Jasmine Sims, the only player in double figures with 10, but the great balance. KK Payne, Alyssa Tolbert, and Amara Martinez each with 7. Julia Diaz, who finished off that third set, has 6 kills and no errors here this afternoon. Selena Batiste and Lindsay Smith have combined for 26 kills. Tori Miller kind of slugging along, only has 7 kills today. She's got 8 errors. She's had a difficult match in large part so far here this afternoon. The Rattlers trying to knock off the Buffaloes for the first time since 2004. They have lost 12 in a row. They'll start with Cruz in the back row and Tolbert, KK Payne, Bree Perry, Julia Diaz, and Amara Martinez right now. Serve at Tolbert. Perry, good wide pass, but it's a little bit low as KK Payne misses. 1-0 start for the Lady Buffaloes. West Texas A&M for just the third time this season playing in their fourth set. Same for the Rattlers. St. Mary's has won twice, trying to end it right here. 1-0 Lady Buffs. Good dig in the back row. Made that time by Vogel. She's been a strong libero here today as Julia Diaz starts right, finishes it left. And the shot is good. Rattlers even it up at 1 apiece. A lot of ties here today, as one could expect. At 9 in the first set, 6 in the second, 7 in the third. All things said and done, what is that, 22? It's not bad. 8 lead changes. Service error number 5, though, on the Rattlers. They get number 6. And you talk about that serve-receive game. The Rattlers, that's their strength. And you know, they're going against the team that doesn't give up free points. In fact, the fewest in the league, or many would say the best, is that is tipped over and out of play. Rattlers miss. Point to West Texas A&M, 3-1 here in this fourth set now, Rattlers haven't missed much. 5 total blocks for the Lady Buffs, 4 for St. Mary's. Buffaloes in black. Right to left on the attack, and the block is made. Jasmine Sims with a big shot. And it's 3-2. I'll tell you what, you know, this is following a similar formula to when these two teams first met. And it happened back on September the 6th. That was the opener for both teams at the Brit Care Lady Buff Classic. West Texas A&M won that tournament and this match 3-2. You know, it helps that you've seen each other. You kind of know what you're getting as that shot is good. Lindsay Smith, a little extra excitement. Smith has had a really strong match today. You know, these two teams played last time. Baptiste had 20, Tori Miller had 18. Not really factoring much in right now. It has really been Smith and Johnson that have been really good in the middle. Smith gets a tip. Back to the Rattlers. Martinez, the shot is good. How about the day from Amara Martinez? Played minimally last night. Today, a major part of the offense, her 8th kill. 4-3, Lady Buffs here in the 4th set. Serve over down the back row at Tori Miller. St. Mary's just tried to come at her, and a good job just placing that one. Isabel Herleman comes up with her 5th kill in 14 swings. And a side out back to the Buffs, 5-3. Buffaloes won the first set, 25-22. Rattlers in the middle of the second really looked like they could be in danger of falling behind 2-0. They were down 6 in that set, but rallied back, went on a big run, didn't look back, kept it going in the third as that shot is good. Selena Batiste, the junior out of Portland, Oregon, with her team leading 16th kill. And Batiste, I don't want no disrespect. She's had a great match, but she's been very up and down. Like you could tell they found her, and then other times they just have gone away from her, whether that's on purpose or not. Kind of had those surges where she gets 3 or 4 in a row. Talented player coming in again. Tori Miller, right at the top of the league in kills, and now back-to-back service errors from the two teams. Start looking as we talk about in freshness. Who's more fresh? Should be St. Mary's. Buffs had to play a 5-setter last night. Tight to the front of the net. Perry, great job just to stay out again. Sadie Snee swings, dug up, tried to play it over on that second hit. Tight to the front of the net. It's over. Cruz covers. Left side. KK Payne is in, I believe. Got a tip. It was on the correct side of the antenna. And the Rattlers staying close. Buffalo's trying to control this set. Good energy here in this match. It's certainly been a good one tonight. So far, Rattlers trying to pull off a major win for them here in Lone Star Conference play. Again, these two teams do not have another scheduled meeting this season. Tight to the front of the net. It's off the top, and Katrina Johnson the point for the Buffaloes, and it's 8-5. And you can see it. There's a little bit of a fire from Kendra Potts' group. The Buffs off to our right have a lot of energy. They're trying to stay, I don't want to say perfect, but the fewest amount of mistakes right now. Rattlers, big swing off the edge, and KK Payne, look out for her 8th kill. KK, an up and down match today for St. Mary's. 8 kills now, 6 errors. Rattlers having to play catch up. Only one player, Jasmine Sims, in double figures with 10 kills, but quite honestly, quiet in that last set. Had a big night yesterday. A lot of key points. Number 5's name came up a lot. Solbert with it for the Rattlers in the white jerseys. They go to Martinez, who's had a big match. Dug up nicely by Arteli, and into the net, 4 hits. Another point to St. Mary's. They're down 8-7 through the first 15 of this 4th set. West Texas A&M, they've won 12 straight against St. Mary's. They are the 4th team picked in the preseason poll. St. Mary's, in contrast, was picked 9th. I thought St. Mary's and St. Ed's, quite honestly, took some tough lumps in that as that shot is blocked. Julia Diaz is fired up, and Diaz has had a match. 7 kills, no errors, and 3 blocks. Thank you very much. Tied at 8. 23rd tie of the afternoon. Back row try, Batiste. Back corner, covered by Tolbert. Perry flips it over. Free ball to the Buffaloes. Into the middle, blocked. Diaz spying again, and Cruz covers. Rattlers go left side. KK Payne lines it up. It's blocked and tipped. It comes back to Batiste, who tips it over. Diving save, front of the net. And finally put away by Selena Batiste for the West Texas A&M Buffaloes, 9-8. There have been about 4 or 5 of those long rally points today. And I would say 4 of those 5, if you count it that way, have gone to St. Mary's. That's the first one the Buffaloes have won. crowd and players have had plenty to cheer about here today. As that's tight to the net. It finds its way over and still goes at the front of the net, and it's down, and a point for St. Mary's. And you could see it as soon as that ball was hit. It looked like it was on the Buffalo side of the court. And the argument, Kendra Potsaw, was, hey, was that right here? It looked like it kind of stopped play. Everybody looking on to see. That was close, much closer than the previous one that was challenged before. We're tied at 9 as it would sit. And I think it's, again, just trying to have the understanding with where it's at right now. And that's what's being explained right now. Buffalo's at 8-2 coming into this match. They won last night in 5 sets against St. Ed's. They lost the first and the fourth set. Trying to change it around tonight. They won the first, trying to win the fourth after dropping sets 2 and 3. And again, the explanation, there's a lot of confusion from Coach Kendra Potts. She's not confused as to what they're explaining. The rule that is being discussed is, again, if the ball is on your side and somebody comes over on the opposite side and hits it, that's illegal. You can't do that. You can't reach over before the ball gets to the top of the net, and it's completely a judgment call. But it's a hard one to understand at times, and if it's called inconsistently, it can be a challenge. Today, I think the officials have done a good job with it, as that shot is out. Miss hit by freshman Katrina Johnson. 4 freshmen have played and contributed today for the Lady Buffaloes, but the Rattlers, they're holding momentum. They just got it for the first time here in this 4th set. They're up 10-9. Remember, they've been trailing 3-4 points, yet it's felt like they've had that momentum. Bree Perry, left side. Alyssa Tolbert blocked at the net. Comes back to the Rattlers. They're in the whites today. Shot down the middle. Great play defensively by Sydney Eagleton, another freshman. St. Mary's again. They come back. It's blocked at the net. And a big play, Katrina Johnson and Isabel Herleman. 2 freshmen in on that stop. And it's side out to the West Texas A&M Lady Buffaloes. They lean on those younger players, and that's why in so many ways Kendra Potts' group is young. They do have 4 seniors, but 5 freshmen, 4 that are playing regularly. The only other, Samantha Jordan, is here, not playing, though, at this point. Serve is up into the middle of the court, tough to the front of the net. Shot is deflected. Lady Buffs have it. They'll get it over. Good job by Herleman. Realizing where she was at on the court as Tolbert tries to put it away. Free ball to St. Mary's. Rattlers trying to play it on 2. That's a good job by Smith. It's at the net. Diaz winds and swings, and that shot is good. Julia Diaz is having a match, folks. And again, St. Mary's, they're not committing errors. That makes such a huge difference. 6 kills, 2 errors in the set. Flip side for West Texas A&M, 5 kills, 4 errors in the set. Buffs hitting just slightly under 200. Rattlers had 3 players at 200 better coming in, but this is a team that had a lot of it. Great job to get it over by Bree Perry. It's good collaboration with her and Sandoval, but watch out for Tori Miller coming through saying, look out, 31 in black. Tied at 11. What a match, folks. What a match we have seen. We're in the 4th. 2-1 St. Mary's. Tied at 11. Minimal separation today from these 2 teams. Shot at Sandoval, kind of bounced up her elbow. St. Mary's gets it over. They don't get a true try. Shot is blocked at the net, but it bounces out of bounds off of the hands of Jasmine Sims. And Sims has typically been subbed in for that libero spot. She's back up in that front row right now along with Martinez. 12-11. West Texas A&M. Buffs with the serve down the line at Tolbert. To Perry. Back to the San Antonio native. Flicked it over. Lady Buffs come back. Shot is blocked, but it's out of bounds off of Miller. And Isabel Herleman. How about her night? It's been a good one. 13-11. Timeout on the deck. We'll step aside. We're in the 4th set. 2-1 St. Mary's, but The Buffaloes lead 13-11 here in set number 4. This is St. Mary's Volleyball on the Lone Star Conference Network.
Put the icing on the cake for St. Mary's. Pato into the back of the net. Pato runs over it, right. Shot, goal, Ollie right.
Last season, we made history. This year, we will build our legacy.
Back at Bill Greehey Arena in set number 4, it's 13-11. The Rattlers taking one of their 2 timeouts, trying to freeze up the Buffaloes of West Texas A&M, who come in with 8 victories, including a road win last night at St. Ed's. Rattlers beat Eastern New Mexico, trying to pull off a huge upset here in league play as that shot is blocked at the front of the net. Buffaloes coming back to the left. Shot is good, and Isabel Hurleman heating up 6, make it 7 kills now on the day. Baptiste and Lindsey Smith pacing 17 and 12 respectively. St. Mary's led by Jasmine Sims, who's got 10, but KK Payne's at 9, Amara Martinez at 8, and then Tolbert and Diaz each have 7. Only 1 error between the 2 of them. 14-11 as that's down the line, and it is out. As Tolbert, she just watched body language, are looking right at her. She thought that was really, really close. It's going to be reviewed and challenged. And I would just say, watching the reaction, that I think Tolbert thought it was probably in. Might have gotten away with the one. They'll see as they take a look-see and have it reviewed. Next up for the Rattlers, again for volleyball, they have to make the longest trip of the year. They'll head to Silver City, New Mexico, take on the Broncos of Western New Mexico, and then that's a Thursday matchup. So you get, sometimes if you're going all the way, so Fort Smith is at one edge of the spectrum, and then the other side, you've got Western New Mexico. Typically you can get a Thursday, Saturday, but not many of those. It's typically Friday, Saturday is how it goes, and it just depends on who the travel partner is. And with you know Texas Permian Basin being one travel partner, and Western New Mexico, I mean, those are those aren't exactly neighboring cities. San Antonio and Austin, as we talked about with St. Mary's and St. Ed's, it's a little bit closer, and it makes it somewhat different. But, you know, it is what it is, and that's why it makes it so hard to travel. If you can win one on the road in this conference, that's going to be pretty good. I mean, that's really essentially going to do a lot of good for you. Tonight, though, the Buffaloes, they're going to need 5 sets if they want to win here for the second straight day. Their only losses are to teams that are seeking top 25 recognition, Angelo State, and then Washburn, who was in the top 5 when they lost to them in Southern Colorado at the Fort Lewis Invitational. Also, that was the tournament they played. They also played in their own hosted tournament where they played very well. St. Mary's, they've stayed relatively close to home, haven't had to go too far yet this season. But Rattlers are going to see some teams that are pretty good. You know, the number 1 team, Tarleton, the preseason favorite, Commerce, those 2 teams are in the top 25. Angelo picked 3rd. And then these Lady Buffaloes of West Texas A&M. Fort Smith checked in at 5th. St. Mary's at 9th. You know, and again, they're in that second pod, as it would see. So they play DBU, Tarleton, Kingsville, International, and their rival St. Ed's. They get every one of those teams twice. And then it's just kind of a random luck of the draw, as it would see, from there on out. Rattlers are back at home next on October the 11th. International and Kingsville will be here on a Friday-Saturday matchup. We'll have both of those matches covered for you here on the Lone Star Conference Network. Right now, currently reviewing whether or not that serve was in. Well, I think this is the one thing that all teams are a little bit fearful of the new review that comes into play, is that if it takes a long time to get it going, how challenging it is. And I know the one official's looking at it. He's getting that review, and they're still trying to go back and take a look down the line. Our crew's doing a great job helping them out. Again, we talk about the freshness factor with everything going on. You know, can St. Mary's use to their advantage that they only had to play a short match last night? Well, the Lady Buffs had to go 5. Quick look around the league going on in the Lone Star Conference. Again, a lot of matches got done early today. Commerce defeated Texas Women's. University, Tarleton, in straight sets over International. St. Ed's got after Eastern New Mexico quickly today, 3-0. Kingsville and DBU are going to a 5th set, tied at 2. UTPB and Lubbock Christian, they're in the 5th set. How about Lubbock Christian coming back down 2-1? Angelo State won against Western New Mexico at home today. Midwestern State defeats UT Tyler 3-1 at the Legan Coliseum in Wichita Falls. Those are the finals for today. And now our match still going on. It's the 4th set, 14-12, still in the middle of this review. Still trying to get maybe the proper angle and see if they can find it. Try and get it all set up. You know, players starting to get restless, starting to jump around and see if they can stay fresh. Crowd as well, that same exact spot. Hey, fans, don't forget you can keep up with all your favorite Rattler teams. You can find them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Find us at St. Mary's Rattlers or search St. Mary's Rattlers for all the latest in the world of Rattler athletics. Plenty going on here at St. Mary's. Soccer has been busy this fall. Again, be sure to check out their teams. A lot of home dates. Touched the top 25 a little bit, and now the review portion has concluded. Harvey Madrigal has been a busy dude today. Again, really working on those reviews as to exactly what they saw. And I think that they're going in, and after the deliberation, the call has changed. So they'll get the score back and reset. 14-11, Lady Buffaloes in the 4th set. Get everybody excited to say, hey, come on, let's get back to it. See how the layoff helps, if it does, either team. Tori Miller back in play. KK Payne. Good job by KK. Good pass to her right. Over to Sims. What an angle. Free ball at the front of the net. Cruz is close. Perry to the left. Shot is up. Another good dig. That's a great job by Miller to get over there for the Buffaloes. Toss back to the St. Mary's side. Tolbert on the launch angle. Cleaned up over on the other side. As that goes out of bounds. And West Texas A&M wants a tip. They look at it, and, you know, that's what kind of can happen sometimes. As, you know, they were thinking about another challenge, and that's a great job, I think, by Coach Kendra Potts. She's done a good job, I think, kind of going back and forth. You look at your kids, but you want a tip there. It didn't happen. There was no tip. It was just missed. That happens sometimes, and it's part of the emotion of the game that you got to manage. Left side on the swing for Tolbert, dug up by Eagleton. Buffaloes in the middle. Great job. Again, St. Mary's has really closed the middle of that gap. Free ball comes over to the Rattlers. They send it right back to the Lady Buffs. Right side, swinging down the lane. Cruz is dug up, but it goes out of bounds. You know, in the early portion of this game, Lindsey Smith had an easy balls down, point is over in the first 2.5 sets. The last set plus, not there. Rattlers have done a much better job spying number 17 in black. 16-12 our score here in this 4th set. Buffs back up to a 4-point advantage, and that is tipped. As Arteley says, okay, I actually did touch that one, doesn't worry about it, but Tolbert gets the kill for St. Mary's. Rattlers are down 3, 16-13. Feels like the game's hanging in the balance, despite The Buffs having a 3-point lead. Batiste at the front of the net is blocked. Bree Perry alive, back to KK Payne, tips it over. What a play over there on the other side by Miller. Lady Buffs back to the middle, attack again. Ball goes out, heading for the seats. Great effort by the Rattlers, but a better job finishing it off. Smith and Miller collaborate on that point, 17-13, and that's a critical point again for the West Texas A&M Buffaloes. If they're to get to 5, those are the points they have to win. As this match has gone along, their numbers have kind of fluctuated. Swing in the middle, that is good from KK Payne. KK Payne once again with another kill. Her 10th of the match, I believe. 17-14, we're in the 4th. Buffaloes are trailing 2-1, but they lead in this 4th set as Payne buries another one down the line. Oh, talk about leaning on some leadership right here for St. Mary's. That's a senior stepping up, and you can kind of tell, if you read body language, Coach Potts over there going, uh-oh, if number 3 gets going, this could be a real problem. Tipped over, nice job by Sadie Snee. Backup setter today has played very smart as that shot is good. Selena Batiste, don't count her out, not 18 kills, just 2 errors today. Hitting above 330, 18-15, Buffaloes. St. Mary's leads on the big board 2-1. Rattlers have played 3 times in 5 sets. Same for the Buffs. They've won all 3 of them. St. Mary's 2-1 if it gets there. Players running into one another off the left side. It clips the net and it's in. KK Payne, fire coming from her. She's got 3 kills and 4 points. Rattlers are down 2, 18-16. Trying to find that surge for Stephanie Armstrong's group. Third-year head coach, 27 victories. Served by Perry. Good floating serve. Didn't have a lot of rotation on it. Baptiste into the back row. Up front, they spy with Sims. They use the right side. Buffs covered up. They come back to Baptiste, who puts it through the double block for the kill. Selena Batiste with her 19th kill of the match. 120 coming into the weekend. Has had a nice 2-day run. She's trying to help her team send it to a 5th. 1 timeout left for St. Mary's as that serve is short at the right hand of Batiste. That was the right idea, but that's the difficult shot, right? Trying to get it to go, some 40 feet. Just get it over the net where people's backs are to you. Doesn't work out. KK Payne will serve for the Rattlers. Good sidewinding serve. Hurleman handles it. And no chance to get it back over as the Rattlers come back strong off the edge. Nothing from Martinez that time. Tough angle down the line. What a twist and turn up front for Tori Miller. 9th kill of the match. She's got 11 errors. And it's 20-17. We're in the 4th. Buffalo's trying to send it to the 5th set. Up to the front of the net. Perry left side. Tolbert blocked down the line. Good job by Hurleman to cover. Comes back her direction. Cruz dives. Has the save to Perry. Right side. And now the Buffaloes with it. Off the edge. Tori Miller's blocked. Hurleman back to Miller. Two-handed touch pass is good. And the Buffaloes push forward 21-17. And a timeout is called by St. Mary's. What a match, folks. Are we going to 5? Or does St. Mary's have a comeback? We'll find out next. This is St. Mary's Volleyball back after this timeout on the Lone Star Conference Network.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a rich history of athletic success, the Lone Star Conference has.
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet. A culture that is quickly becoming the flavor of the neighborhood. Real fresh, real flavor. That's Pizza Patron.
A strong tradition of academic excellence, a commitment to community, and a rich history of athletic success, the Lone Star Conference has long been known as a leader in intercollegiate athletics. Now with 19 institutions that embody the best in college sports, the Lone Star Conference is the largest and most dynamic conference in NCAA Division II.
21-17 here in this fourth set.
This is the new
The West Texas A&M Buffaloes, the lead and the serve. After the Rattlers' second timeout, blocked at the net, out of bounds, side out to the Rattlers. They went right back to the middle where they've had success, Julia Diaz, and now they're into the spot in the rotation where they like to be at. And West Texas A&M has just out-hit St. Mary's in the set, 15 kills, only 5 errors. Rattlers now at 11 kills to just 2 errors. This is a hard team to out-hit. Buffs are 8-0 this season when they have more kills than their opponents. Off the right side, a dig, not quite, almost. KK Payne couldn't quite handle it as that rolls across the table. 22-18, Buffaloes are happy to trade. It's been a heck of a match here today, folks. Not much separation. 28 ties in the match, 10 different lead changes. 2 of those here in this last set. Good job by Cruz to chase that one down. Tight to the net, look out. As Sadie Schnee rips one across the line and is good. So good to be left-handed. I'll tell you, if you can ever teach somebody to be a left-handed volleyball setter, I mean, that's dangerous. Sadie Schnee has 7 kills now in 24 attempts. I mean, 24 attempts from your setter is a little bit dangerous, but she's been real good. Up by 5, the largest lead of the match, and that's out. And it's set point for the Buffaloes, 24-18. Fans in the maroon wearing those shirts for the Buffs, they stand. St. Mary's, can they get 6 in a row? Serve is up, Tolbert. Back to her on that side, runs into the net, and that is how the 4th set ends. We go to the 5th. Somebody's record has to fall right here. The Buffaloes are 3-0. St. Mary's is 2-1. 25-18 the score in the 4th. We head to the 5th set next here from San Antonio. This is Rattler Volleyball on the Lone Star Conference Network.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet. A culture that is quickly becoming the flavor of the neighborhood. Real fresh, real flavor. That's Pizza Patron.
Welcome back to Bill Greehey Arena for our fifth set here tonight between the Rattlers and the Buffaloes of West Texas A&M. Lady Buffs needed a rally. They found a way to do so. They just out-hit St. Mary's, quite honestly. Only the second time this season that the Rattlers play a five-setter. They won against Kingsville earlier this year at the Kingsville tournament. A year ago, they were just 1-4. The Buffs, they are 3-0 this season in five setters, including a victory last night. Can they do it on back-to-back nights in the road in the Lone Star Conference? St. Mary's with it right now. Again, 1st to 15, don't forget, as that first point is good for Tori Miller and the Buffaloes. 1-0 start. The Buffs coming in as the top hitting team, 280 in the conference. They like to out-hit a lot of people. They have out-hit St. Mary's 63 to 54. Rattlers through the double block, and the shot is good. Big shot by KK Payne. KK Payne has been feeling it here in the last couple of sets. Couldn't bring her team all the way back in that last set, but she's done a really nice job here tonight. Somebody, when you look at who steps up, there's usually somebody at the center of it. Oftentimes in a match like this, senior leader bleeds through. Tied at 1. Short serve. Hit on the back end. Teams did not change ends. Dive by Diaz, and it's saved. Great job, actually, by Bree Perry, who got to that one as the shot is blocked. Up at the front, and that is Julia Diaz. 2-1 Rattlers. 1st to 15, got a win by 2. Buffaloes 8-2, having to play back-to-back nights of five setters. Man, that's hard. Winning both of them is another feat. They did that last night against St. Ed's. 2-1. Rattlers here in the 5th. Tough pass off the edge right, dumped over by Tori Miller. Up into the front of the net. Diaz swings and scores again. 3-1. Diaz in the middle has looked fresh. And, if you're holding anything back, obviously the time to use it is now. And the Rattlers know if they can score in the middle, that's, essentially their secret weapon. Diaz and Sims played there yesterday. Both were effective. Tight pass to the front of the net. Screen through, and look out below Tori Miller for their 12th kill of the match. One of 3 players in double figures for the Buffs. Batiste has 19 to lead everybody. Rattlers now with 3 players in double figures as well as Diaz, Sims, and Payne are 10+. Here's the set. Left side, Tolbert dug up on the right side of the net. What a placement shot, the freshman Tori Miller again. Miller likes the pressure. Who's going to handle it? Tied at 3 here in this match. It's been a great one. Second tie of the day here in this 5th set. A lot of them throughout. Not much separation. 4 hits on St. Mary's. And the Buffs push ahead for the first time in the 5th. 28 total ties in the match. 11 lead changes. Serve into the back row at Payne. Sent up to the left side. Tolbert is dug by Eagleton. Back to the middle. It's kept alive off of Smith's right arm, but that's too many hits, and the Buffs have 4 in a row. Timeout We'll stay right here this time. Stephanie Armstrong bringing everybody over, saying, hey, deep breath. You know, those first few points are a challenge to get, but, you know, you can't use all of that energy up. We talked about it. The Rattlers played straight sets last night, out of here in an hour and a half, you know, yesterday. Very different story for the folks from Canyon. Had to wait, long match, and their fans treated a back-to-back 5-setters. A year ago, you know, this was a struggle for the Buffaloes. They were just 3-5 in the 8 matches they played, but they're off to a strong start at 3-0 this season. Again, the Buffaloes, one of the top hitting teams coming in there, the top statistically by game. You know, hitting over 280 for the match, however. Today they are hitting 239. 17 kills, though, in the first and fourth set. They won both those, by the way. 14 and 15 in the middle 2 sets. A few more errors in those as well. But they have hit the ball pretty well. St. Mary's had a tough start to the match. Hit over 400 in the third when they peaked out with 17 kills and just 2 errors. It's 5-3. Remember that separation. You get a 3 to 4 point gap. That's hard to make up in this game to 15. Tolbert, left side, swings, dug on the other side by Vogel. Right side, shot is up, kept alive, but a double hit. It's called a lift on St. Mary's. Savannah Alcazar, who's seeing her first action of the day. Tough spot for her to come in. 6-3 in the 5th. Jump serve into the middle. Long way to run for Bree Perry. Finds its way over the net. Buffaloes have it in the middle. Smith, a good hack, but Cruz covers. Back to KK Payne. She points at her spot. Free ball to St. Mary's. Front row is tipped over. Diving save. Great job up front by Hurleman. And that's into the net. Side out to the Rattlers. 6-4. West Texas A&M. Rattlers will have the serve with Julia Diaz. This has again been the best spot in rotation for St. Mary's. Rattlers were up 3-1, but gave up 5 of 6. Here comes St. Mary's. Do they go back to Sims? They go left side. Tolbert misses the back right corner by inches. It's a good job over there by Tom Tanaka to see that one. That was perfectly right in front of his angle. Right there on the line. It was very close. Missed by about 4 inches. 7-4 in the 5th set. Buffaloes the lead. Tied at 2. Serve it Tolbert to Perry. Left side blocked. Tolbert gets it back. This time Alcazar the swing. The veteran on a transfer is trying to get in rotation. First minutes here in the 5th set. Off to the left side. The swing and the dig is made by Chandler Vogel. Dumped over, Cruz has it, 7-4, we're in the 5th. Buffaloes get it back, look out, Cruz, what a cover. That's a huge play after Snee had swung at it. Ball keeps going, rally point, the 6th long one of the night. Who's gonna win it? The set to the right, tipped over, Perry's got it. Back out, here's the set, Alcazar swings and the dig is made. Vogel comes up with that one. Another long point. Both teams look winded. Who's going to win it? At the front of the net. Staying out of it. It's off the net, but it's out of bounds. Isabel Harleman just missed it, and the Rattlers survive the point. 7-5 our score. What a rally right there. Talk about having to have some in the tank. That's how you do it. Can St. Mary's build on that? That looked like it took everything out of both clubs. 7-5 the score. Tough passing angle to Hurleman. Her shot is good on the back line. Cruz tried to let it go. Gambled and missed. And now at the 8th point, teams will switch sides. What a match we have had. The Buffs won the first set, 25-22. Rattlers in the middle of the 2nd set were down 6. And quite honestly, they were at the folding point. From being down 2-0, they ripped off 16 of the next 22 points to win the set. And then they carry it over into the 3rd. After winning 25-21, they win the 3rd set 25-22. But the Buffs don't go away. They are a quality program for a reason, not only in this league, but nationally. They win the 4th set 25-18, and really, they controlled it all the way through. Here's the set to Sims. Nice play made by the Buffaloes now on our left side. Cruz has it. St. Mary's could use a little bit of a rally. After going up 3-1, they've looked a little bit flat, stringing back-to-back points as that is flipped over. How about the senior, Bree Perry, for the point? That can help you. 8-7, the score, I believe. Maybe it's 8-6, beg your pardon, trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves. It's 8-6. West Texas A&M. Rattlers on the serve game. Tolbert, back row middle. Up front, over to Snee, left side. Tolbert the dig. Rattlers in the white jerseys. They come to KK Payne, trying to bury it away. Can't do so. Cruz to Perry. Back to Payne again. Got a tip, and the shot is good. Number 3 is calling for the ball right now. The new Braunfels product by way of Stephen F. Austin, one of the most decorated players out of Canyon High School. 8-7. First one to 15, and Tolbert hits the net. Service error. Rattlers have had that today. That has been an issue. That is their 8th of the match. 2 aces to show for it. Difficult balance. 9-7 Buffs in the 5th. Cruz has it. Long run. Perry back to Tolbert. Back row attack. Comes tight to the net. Good job staying out of it by both sides, but the point is finished off on the left. That's a great job by Selena Batiste. 20th kill of the match. She has played well for the second straight night. One of the best players in this conference. 10-7, remember, first to 15. Payne, a smash is good. Wouldn't want to be Sadie Snee, who was in front of that one, or Katrina Johnson. 3 is jumping. You don't want to be near her. KK Payne, who had 6 errors in the first two and a half sets, 3 sets really, has not missed. She's got 7 straight kills. Great move up there at the front of the net by Sadie Snee. It's 11-8 Buffs in the 5th. First to 15, got to win by 2. Rattlers trying to win and end a string of 12 straight defeats to the Buffaloes. It goes back to 2004. Perry to Payne, blocked out of bounds. Miller was in the right spot, but she just couldn't quite get her hand around enough. 11-9, side out back to the Rattlers. Brad Foote goes out, up back into the front row. Savannah Alcazar, the senior, again, had not played at all in the matches, played in this 5th set. Serve into the back row middle. Set up again, it's blocked this time. They saw Miller coming. Off to the left, and the shot is good. Selena Batiste, 21 kills, just 2 errors today. You know, Coach Armstrong had said the 2 people that could beat her team, Tori Miller and Selena Batiste, they had to have an answer. Miller has been slowed most of the match, but Batiste has really been strong here in the 4th and 5th set, not to mention set number 1 when the Buffaloes won that first. They won sets 1 and 4, Rattlers in the middle 2 and 3. Now sitting in the 5th, Buffaloes trying to complete what would be a very impressive weekend to beat 2 teams in 5 sets on the road. You know, I think there's some folks wondering about how do some of these Lone Star teams fit in with the Heartland teams that now have joined their conference. Not a lot of love for St. Mary's and St. Ed's. Both teams into the semifinals of the Heartland last year. St. Mary's actually finished in that 2nd place spot after defeating Fort Smith after that hadn't happened in a long time. You know, St. Ed's, though, I mean, St. Ed's had a good season. They also beat Fort Smith. After Fort Smith really, since they came in 2011 into the Heartland, did not ever relinquish that title. You know, those 3 teams, I think, will be very strong challengers into this league, along with Lubbock Christian. 12-9 out of the second timeout called. St. Mary's is out. Now's the time for their run. Batiste back underway. Payne, a bad pass. And a 13th point for the Buffs of West Texas A&M. They need 2 more. Can the Rattlers rally? Selena Batiste, the serve into the back row up front. Perry behind her. to Davis. The shot is good. Diaz comes up with her 12th kill of the match. Julia Diaz has had a great match. Haven't been able to find her here in this 5th set yet after that first point. KK Payne, the serve. This is one of the 2 servers that the Rattlers have been able to string some points together. Back row, Eagleton, right side, swinging, and that's deep from Tori Miller. A lot of luck involved in this game, too. Both coaches will tell you that. You can see that spine-tingling moment starting to feel over there. Coach Kendra Potts, while she's removed as a player, she remembers this. She loves it. We were talking about pressure before this match, and she talks so much about how if there's not pressure, why are you doing it? It's one thing when you're at a place where, you hope to compete, be in the middle of your conference, that's good enough. At West Texas A&M, the Lady Buffaloes are expected to win this league. They are expected to win this league. They would say it's a slap that they were picked 4th. The other 3 teams ahead of them are all very, very good. And I think it's easy to argue that the top 5 teams can all be in the number 1 slot. And then the next group of 7 teams can all challenge every one of those teams. So the conference season will be fantastic to watch. And we're only watching the 2nd weekend of it so far. The Buffaloes 8-2. They're 2-1 in the Lone Star. St. Mary's, they're 7-4. They won their first official match as members of the Lone Star Conference yesterday against Eastern New Mexico. If they were to win today somehow, this would be a monster win. Rattlers have lost the last 12 meetings dating back to 2004 when they won here on the 3rd of November in this arena. 13-11 out of the Buffalo timeout. Rattlers have the serve, trailing by 2. KK Payne with service honors. Best server for St. Mary's. At the front of the net, shot is flipped over, Cruz covers. Tolbert, back row to Payne, just slaps it through. Here's the set, Tori Miller blocked, covered by Bree Perry. Back to the right side, Tolbert swings and hits the back left corner. Good job, enough confidence for Alyssa Tolbert and her 9th kill of the match. Oh man, 13-12. Payne's got 16, Diaz 12, Sims with 10, none in the last of those set. And now Tolbert with 9. 13-12 in set number 5 as the shot is blocked and the Rattlers tie it at 13. Tori Miller had 2 players and another very close, and another timeout taken by Kendra Potts. What a match. We'll stay here this time. Hope the fans that are in attendance watching are having as much fun as this has been. This has been a quality match. Just resetting it for you. West Texas A&M won the first set, in control in the second, and then the Rattlers put it together. They took 16 of the next 22 points to win the second. They hang on in a close third set, 25-22. Buffaloes don't go away in the fourth. They control almost the entire fourth set to win it 25-18. And then here in the fifth, up 12-9, when you're up, 13-9, you're typically up 13-9 in the fifth set, you feel great. I mean, you almost have it. And the Rattlers have ripped off 4 straight points. KK Payne, along with Julia Diaz, have made some big swings in this match to pull St. Mary's close. Tolbert has one as well. The balance has been exceptional for the Rattlers. Do they find a way? Who's going to get more than 2 ahead? Fifth set, KK Payne. 4 in a row right now to the Rattlers. Both teams are out of timeouts. Serve from Payne, back row. Handled back there by Vogel. Set on the left side. It is off a deflection. It got Alcazar. Match point number 1 for the West Texas Buffaloes. As a team, their 72nd kill, hitting 220 on the match. Rattlers at 210. They need this one. Perry, left side. Tolbert swings. Got a deflection, free ball. Perry to her right, over to Diaz. Buffaloes keep it alive. Good pass up front. It's dumped over. Perry right back again in the middle as it's sent back over. Match point in the middle, and the shot is good. Holy cow! What a job by Lindsey Smith. The Buffaloes, on back-to-back days, they win in 5 sets. What a match, folks. Holy cow. Rattlers had them on the ropes. They were up 2-1 in the 4th set. Never really grabbed control. And then in a 5th set that watched the Buffaloes go up 13-9. St. Mary's scores 4 in a row. They tie it at 13. But the Buffaloes, in the final 2 points of set number 5, show their prowess as a premier program. Once again, that number drops to 13 consecutive defeats. And the Rattlers are going to have to wait at least a little while longer to try to snap that streak. What a match here today from San Antonio. So glad you joined us. Next up for St. Mary's, they're on the road. They'll take on Western New Mexico next Thursday. UTPB shortly after that will follow West Texas A&M. They will return home. I'm sure it will be a happy ride for them. Eastern New Mexico will be up next for them on Tuesday. And then they'll take on MSU back at home into the weekend against Texas Women's University. From our entire crew, I'm Andrew Stossmeister. Thanks so much for joining us. We're next back here on October the 11th. Texas A&M International and Kingsville will be here on a Friday-Saturday matchup in 5 sets, and really a real quality, fun match to watch. West Texas A&M wins it. They win the first set 25-22, and then they win the 4th set 25-18, and hang on in the 5th 15-13 to defeat St. Mary's and improve to 9-2 on the season. They're 3-1 in the Lone Star Conference. The Rattlers drop to 7-5. They are 1-3 in their first year in the Lone Star Conference. Have a wonderful night. This has been St. Mary's Volleyball on the Lone Star Conference Network.
We've been around for a while, and we know how to build a fresher pizza. A real pizza, one made with real fresh and real flavor. A pizza made with different toppings and the unique taste from our culture. And of course, a commitment to better, fresher dough and ingredients. We built a pizza culture where you can fill up on flavor without emptying your wallet. A culture that is quickly becoming the flavor of the neighborhood. Real fresh, real flavor. That's Pizza Patron.